Hey, there we go. We're live. One short second while we get the other phone here going so she can see the comments.
I don't know, my plant looks black behind us.
Go here and go back
It's
down
green.
here and hit that. There we go. So we'll just kill a couple seconds. It's just the glitter of it. I don't know why. It's the color that's on it, or maybe it's going to put up that thing like it did the other day. It's thinking it's green because the refrigerator was doing it.
I don't know.
The refrigerator was doing funky things. That's why I turned it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Turned it where you can't see the clock either. Can't see the hands of the clock going around
At the wrong time.
So we got a bunch of stuff today we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the OC Bike Fest, Ocean City.
First, we got to say thank you to Chad for super chat right off the bat.
Yep. Thank you, Chad. We appreciate that. And hopefully we'll get to meet you next year. And that'll be coming soon, which we'll talk about Sturgis towards the end here.
George.
So we're going to be talking about today is Ocean City Bike Fest. We're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about bikes, blues, and barbecue. Got a little list over here to make sure I stay on schedule here.
So we don't get off the beaten path.
Flathead Rally Point, which is part of Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about our ride on the coast. That's going to be coming up soon. If any of you might be interested in it. We're also going to talk a little bit about Sturgis. If you got questions about Sturgis, we'll put those kind of towards later at the end. Oh, I got my Dixon flannel Sturgis shirt on.
That's what Chad said. Nice shirt, Bob.
I don't know how long I can wear it because it's kind of warm in here. So we'll see if I can make it through the video with it or not. Long sleeves and all.
Yeah.
It fit pretty good. She said that they thought it was, people were saying it was smaller. Up here, it's pretty good. Sleeve wise, lengthwise, good for riding a bike. But down the last couple buttons, I probably wouldn't
around the belly.
Probably wouldn't be able to tighten those down. I don't know if I wanted any bigger. It's already kind of big on my shoulders and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't really wear long sleeve shirts very often, but maybe we'll take it down to when we go these next couple of trips.
On the coast, yeah.
We can talk about that. So Dixon Flannel, they had a great time down there in Sturgis. And like I say, we'll be talking a little bit more about that at the end of today. We'll talk about Sturgis and what's going on there and what's the future of the Bob and Cam show. So we'll let you know about that. And we'll tell you a little bit about where we're going to camp at next year. So stay tuned for that too. Lots of things going on today. So we'll start off with Ocean City Bike Fest. That's our next event. Actually, I've been trying to work in the garage a little bit. A little muggy here.
Yeah, that humidity, we brought it home with us. I'll tell you what,
it's cooler. It's like we're around 82, but it feels like about 85. And then the garage, 95. Which is good for me. Wind's blowing from the back of the garage through where I'm not going to worry about my doors being blown off like the guy down the road did. So I did a little work yesterday. I built one more frame. I took some pictures. I might post that on Facebook. I got another frame. Well, I'm pretty much done framing now, which is kind of nice. So I got to get her down there. We're going to measure up the last of the drywall that we're going to put up. We're only going to go about 8 foot around the outside of the building, inside, but outside walls. Cover that up. The bathroom and stuff. I'm going to need help getting that all finished up. I put the shower in there to just kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. Took a couple pictures of that, and that's about it. And I anchored some of the 2x4s to make sure that once I put the drywall, the wall don't fall down. So I anchored that to the steel beam. So that's what I've been doing the last couple of days.
Yes, that's why we have the humid weather. Hurricane Hillary. That's for
thank
sure.
Hillary again. There you go. Thank old Hillary. She's loving that, ain't she?
She says, welcome home.
If you're a Hillary fan, there you go.
Whatever.
She's coming back on California.
Death Valley forecast is rain, believe it or not. Well, the only good thing about all of this is the dry conditions in California. This rain will help with the fire season, hopefully.
Yeah, because all the mud will be down in the yard and all the trees will be going with them. Because they're talking possibly 10 inches of rain up in the hills. I got a friend that just sent me some stuff in Palmdale, Palmdale, California, and they already got streets flooded out. We had a little bit last night, a couple of streets I kind of drove through, weren't too bad. But I mean, we haven't really had that hard rain. It actually looks like the sun's trying to come out right now.
Hey, Ray and Cheryl.
So it's supposed to be pouring down rain by now, but this fine storm is going 21 miles an hour. There you go, Hillary. She's taking her sweet old time coming through again. What? I'm not saying anything. Just talking about the hurricane, Hillary.
So there's Ray and Cheryl. They were the ones that stayed across from us, that one that helped Sherry a lot. Thank you very much.
She made it home.
She did. She followed us most of the way. When we left St. George, she was going to come here and stay a night, but decided if she only drove 2 more hours, she'd be home. So she went home.
Like 4 more hours.
I don't know. She got home. She's good. She's
all
safe.
Right. So we're going to get into what we're going to talk about today, since we got a lot of people already on here. So we're going to talk about Ocean City Bike Fest. That's our next adventure that we're going to be going on. We're actually flying in there and also flying to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. My ultimate dream is coming true. So We've got somebody that's in Ocean City that's actually setting us up with a place to stay and also giving us a pickup truck to drive around in. Don't get a motorcycle there, which is fine because there's really not a whole lot of motorcycle riding in Ocean City.
And I think everything's like right there.
Well, there's two places things are going to be going on at. They've got a convention center is where the big vendors are at. And then over at Rommel, Rommel, Harley Davidson, they've got vendors there. So that's the only two spots that I can find on the website. We're hopefully going to get Chase. He kind of takes care of a lot of that. We're going to see if we can get a hold of him next week, and maybe he'll come on midweek and kind of give you an update of what Ocean City is going to be like. But one of the big things that they've got going on is, once again, they have some of the big concerts. You know, it's the same gentleman that puts that one on that puts on Panama City. So you know how we had some big acts that came there. He's got some big ones here. Actually, one of them we want to go see. So on Wednesday, they don't have anything down yet. They're still working on trying to put somebody in. But on Thursday, it is Joan Jett. Can you believe it? Joan Jett. That's not it. The headliner, I think, is going to be, well, I already know it is because it's already listed, Billy Idol. We have never ever seen Billy Idol. Nope. And that's one of the things I kind of talked about before, that it'd be really great to have Billy Idol. I can't believe the Chip didn't have him. But Billy Idol to come there. And then on Saturday, they're going to have Leonard Skinner. Oh, I forgot. So Friday night, they're going to have the Struts and Shinedown. So I don't know who the Struts are. I've heard of Shinedown. They've done a lot of the rallies and stuff. Don't know much about them. But Saturday is Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top. So they got both back to back. That's kind of interesting. So be a pretty good show there probably too. So that's kind of what they're going to specialize in. Really, the bigger bands are going to be there. There'll be a lot of vendors there. We're hearing as many as, we haven't got an exact count, but somebody was telling us there could be as many as 400 vendors there. At the convention center. I think there's even some inside, and then at the dealership. So we're going to have a little bit more information on that later this week if all goes well. Either way, we'll have more information. So we'll talk about it next Sunday, or if he comes on, we'll have a special this week talking about Ocean City. But the dates there are September 13th through the 17th. Now, we arrive on the Wednesday, which I think probably is going to be the 12th. So we get there on the 12th, and so we'll be there all the way.
On the 13th.
What?
We get there on the 13th.
The 13th Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
So, because they're not getting there till Thursday then.
Right.
So we get there on Wednesday. She says it's 13th. And so we won't be doing a whole lot. They say the boardwalk's pretty cool to check out. I don't know if we're going to be doing anything at any of the bars and stuff they got going on there. We have somebody that's trying to make some contact, but they charge for everything. It's like $20 to get in. And if they're going to charge you to get in, they're probably not going to allow us to film stuff. So who knows?
And if you buy the VIP passes for all the concerts, you get $5 off of the cover charge at the Secrets.
There you go. Better than nothing. Better than a stick in the eye.
I guess it is.
So that's one of the things we're going to be going on. So we don't know a whole lot about Ocean City. All the vendors tell us that it's a great rally for them. They do really well for the short time that they're there. They can make money as much as they can make in Sturgis. But with this, it ends up working out to be, for us, we just want to go to say we've been there, done that. And I don't think we'll ever go back, but we'll see. Ryder X is going to be there. He already said he's going to make sure comes in there. You don't fly in. He flies in on his motorcycle, I guess. Yeah. Run that 135 or 131, whatever the heck he's got. 131. And zip on down there. I think Steven took a picture today of a 135. I'm not sure if he put that in his bike or not.
He got that. What did he get? I can't think.
I don't know. But he showed a picture, and when I looked at it the second time, it looked like his gas tank. So I don't know if he put a 130. He's going to kill himself. Steven, are you on yet? And so that's Ocean City. So that kind of gives you a little bit. We don't know a lot about that because we don't know.
George says the concerts are in the inlet, and normally the vendors are in the stadium in Salisbury. So I guess they're not. I thought the convention center was right here, and then you just went across, and that was the inlet. But must be further away than I think.
I don't know. What we're being told is where we're staying in is right across the street from the convention center. So we'll have a pickup truck that we can drive around. It's actually a company truck that's going to have a parking tag on it. So we pretty much can park anywhere we want. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, we don't know a lot about it. Maybe somebody can send us some maps and show us kind of where everything's going to be at and stuff like that. Because I went on their website, didn't show me a whole lot. Don't know much about it. We've been through Maryland, but that's about it. A quick drive through on the motorcycle. Other than that, don't know much about it. So that's that. So the next big thing we're going to be doing is, which I'm kind of excited about again. We've been here about 2 years ago, almost going to be 3 years coming up if we didn't go this year. It's called Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. And it's a great event that actually goes on from September 20th to the 23rd. We actually arrive there on Sunday or Monday of that week. We're going to be meeting with the police department and the city and a whole bunch of neat people we're going to be meeting with. And it's a place that they've been wanting us to come back to for quite a while. One, because we've gotten to be a bigger YouTube channel, and we're actually, people know we're all about information, giving you guys great information, try to figure out where you want to go. Well, one of the problems that we had with when we went there last year or 2 years ago, when we went to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, we actually stayed in
Eureka Springs.
Yep, Eureka Springs. I look on my board for Eureka Springs. I didn't see it. Eureka Springs, and we ended up staying in KOA. Nothing big, nothing fancy. It was just KOA. Wasn't real happy with it, just for the fact it really wasn't a. Which is sad when you go to a lot of these events. Daytona's kind of like that too. They don't really have. Daytona's got a little bit, but I mean, a lot of the rallies we go to don't have a campground to party in. Well, they have now. They've got something that they're putting together, and it's going to be called, let me look on my board and see where I wrote it down at. There it is. Flathead Rally Point. That's going to have a whole bunch of stuff. If any of you are Adam Sandoval followers, you might have already seen him do some stuff on Facebook. He actually walked around and stuff. We actually Googled it, and there's really nothing really there. And I think what they're doing is it's an adventure. It's a place where they've been able to do like off-road. There's a bunch of off-road trails that go off of this place. And I think that's kind of what it's been in the past. And what they're doing now, we're not quite sure who's putting all this together, but they're putting together a whole entertainment of stuff. So let me go back, and we'll back up and tell you a little bit about, used to be in Fayetteville, Arkansas. In Fayetteville, don't want us anymore. They don't like us. They don't want us.
College town.
That's all they want. They don't give a crap about any of us. So Rogers picked it up. Rogers is where Pig Trail Harley Davidson has been. That's always been where most of the vendors have been at. The Indian dealers right down the street, they've got a couple of vendors there, 3 or 4 vendors that are on their lot. There's also a Honda dealer, motorcycles, Yamaha, something. I'm not sure why we didn't stop there last time. They're across the street. So there's 3 bigger dealers right there, but the Harley Pig Trail's got all the vendors there. That's where you really want to check for vendors. Okay, so what happens is they're going to have demo trucks. You're going to have 2 demo trucks from Harley Davidson there. One's going to be at the Rogers Convention Center in Rogers. The other one's going to be at Eureka Springs at the Harley Davidson dealer. The dealer there is just a clothing store, but they got big, giant parking lot there. Yeah. That's where Mexi Philly, usually where they set up at, is there. They like to be in there. So we're also going to have vendors at Pig Trail Harley Davidson and also at Eureka Springs Harley Davidson. There's going to be vendors there. Downtown, they have a stage that's called Butterfield Stage. And that's where they're going to put the vendors down there too. Don't know much about that yet, but we'll have to find out. Also on Saturday in downtown Rogers, they're going to have a barbecue contest. So that's Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue.
That's the barbecue part.
Yep, on Saturday the 23rd. But probably out of all the bands that I've seen, except for we're going to talk about Flathead in a minute, but in Rogers, probably the only really big band that I've ever heard of is on the Saturday night. They're going to have Jackal. They're going to be playing in Rogers. So other than that, that's about the only. There's a whole bunch of bands playing everywhere. So, we'll give you a rundown. You can always go to their websites and look at this stuff, bikesbluesandbarbecue.com, and you can find out more information about the bands if you're looking for a particular band. But to talk about this Flathead Rally Point, it's not going to open till Thursday. So it's going to be September 21st through the 24th. They've got both have some, did they say full hookups?
Yeah, they have full hookups.
So they're going to have all kinds of, they're going to get back to old school back games. So they're going to have a wet t-shirt contest. There you go. Miss Flathead contest, bite the wiener, a keg toss, arm wrestling. There's even a place there that they're going to do hill climbing. That's going to be pretty exciting.
Drag races.
Yep, drag races and best tattoo contest. The tattoos are going to play musical instruments. If you got a guitar guy playing on your arm, you might be able to win. So some of the bands that they've got going on there. So on September 21st, they're going to have Jasmine King. She's an old favorite. She's also going to be playing at the Cat House Lounge. She's also going to be playing a night there too. So she's going to be there for a while.
Steven's on.
Oh, Steven, did you put a new motor in your bike?
Was that 131 yours?
135.
135.
So on September 22nd, they're going to have Josie
Scott's.
He's from Saliva. He's going to be there. And then they're having an AC/DC tribute band.
I think it's that Back in Black, the one that was at the Chip, and they're pretty good.
And so they're there. And then on Saturday, they're going to have Texas Hippie Coalition. So that kind of rounds out, but it's a full campground. They got a stage they're building. It's going to be a pretty much a biker style thing. If you've been to,
kind of going to be like a mini Chip, I guess, and it might grow into a full Chip.
Yeah, could be. And we've even heard talk of maybe some vendors might show up there too. So we don't know any of that till as we get a little closer. We'll know a little bit more information. We still got a couple months here before all this, actually about a month before all this kind of comes together.
It'll be quick.
So we'll know something about a week before we leave. We'll get the last of the lowdown of who we're going to be talking to, what's going to happen. We'll be at all these venues here we're going to be at. the Pig Trail Harley. We're going to spend a lot of time in Eureka Springs. I found it on there. We're going to spend a lot of time in Eureka Springs, the Cat House. They're actually one of the ones that are sponsoring us to come out for this event.
Jeff, thank you, Jeff.
So we do appreciate that and get us out there. And we're also going to be getting a motorcycle from Pig Trail Harley. Is going to be sponsoring us with a bike, so we can go around and do some of the great riding and show you guys all the great things you can do out there. If you're thinking about doing a rally this year or even any year, and you want something, a lot of people say, I don't necessarily like Sturgis. It's just too big. It's too crowded. It's all that. Daytona is too trendy. It's too, I don't want to deal with those kinds of rallies. This is it. Adam Sandoval says it's one of his top 5, but I put this in is really about the second.
Sturgis?
Sturgis is number 1. This is second. This is better than what Daytona is. And what makes this so great is just what I've said in the past. They got some good riding out there, more than just one little road to ride on. So you got some great riding to do. The people that live out there are very friendly. You're going to meet some great people here. It's kind of like going to Sturgis. You meet some really great people in Sturgis. I don't know how many people I walked up to and I said the question, "Oh, who are you here with?" "Oh, I'm by myself." And I'm like, "Oh, did you find anybody, any new friends?" Or right? "Oh yeah,
ride with?
See these 5 guys back here? That's my new friends I just met. We're going riding tomorrow." So that's what you can't do that in Daytona. You can't do that at a lot of the different rallies, Panama City, things like that. People kind of come in their cliquey groups and they kind of stay with that. They're just not as friendly as what rallies should be and what way they used to be. You find your new buddy to go riding with, and you can go out and do some great riding, or maybe you can get your local that will take you around and show you some great things. There's a lot of on their website. They'll show you on Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. There's a bunch of trails there. They already show you to take out your bike. That you can take and go on different courses and stuff. We'll be doing some of that too. We'll try to get some of that out before the rally starts. So you really have to be watching. But this is a great event. It doesn't have any of the big commercial trucks, J&P Cycles or Zero or any of those don't come out there.
So J&P Cycles was supposed to be coming out.
Well, there's talk that J&P Cycles could come to this Flathead, but I don't know that for sure.
That's
just
100%.
a rumor. But you get all the other ones, Fair and Exchange,
Wide Open Customs.
All about customs, Wide Open
Customs.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of them. Dan Kite has his son comes out there and he does pinstriping. So there's a lot of
Brian Kite.
Yep. And I'm not sure if Bug Slide's going to be out there or not, but
he was out there. Him and Dixie was last year, or 2 years ago.
I think he was trying to say she's going to do it this year. That he ain't doing it. So we'll leave it at that. So, but that's
Steven said it wasn't him. He can't afford that anymore.
I was just wondering. It looked like your gas tank. That's why I was thinking. At first, I thought, nah, he was just showing a picture of it. And then after I seen it again, I was like, I wonder if he got a new motor.
Do you have the 135 Harley crate motor, Steven? No. He said no.
No.
All right. Jeffrey Pope's on. He says, "Hi guys. Hey Jeffrey, how are you?" He's not too awful far from.
So we're going to have a special giveaway, which we got to get everything finalized on this, how we're going to do it and everything, because we just found out a few minutes ago before we went on the air that we had this giveaway. So at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, we are going to give away either a hotel room for the event or a full camping pass at Flathead. So stay tuned to find out very shortly. Within the next few days, we'll explain the rules, what you have to do this. You definitely have to come to it. That's your first thing. We don't want to give something away to somebody that has no intentions of coming.
That's right. You have to be already committed to come.
Well, we've had people, the guy that came to Daytona that we gave away Camp Easy Ride, it was the same thing. He said, well, if I get it, I'll come. But if not, I can't come. That was the reason he was coming, because he couldn't afford to come to it.
Daytona Dave says, but team to the nation.
So it's pretty exciting. Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, like I say, it's a really great rally. The last time we were there, the weather was pretty good. It was a little crisp at night, but it was pretty warm during the day. We could go riding without jackets and stuff on. So you never can tell about the weather. Like now, it's like 100 and something degrees down there. So
it's warm.
It's warm everywhere.
Weather's crazy right now, everywhere.
Yeah. So it's going to be a great event. I really like to do this one again. We had talked about it the last couple of years about maybe coming back and hitting it again. They made it possible for us to come back by giving us a free place to stay, to camp us, and a motorcycle to ride while we're there. So that way we can do our job a little bit easier. Won't have to, because a lot of the small rallies, we don't really turn the money that we should on our YouTube channel. So it's one of the things bad about doing the small rallies. We sometimes don't get enough content. I know a lot of people are learning about finding things.
So yes, Chad, all those concerts are in the same place at Ocean City. They're all on the inland side, wherever that is. It's over by the ocean.
But it said it was by the conventions. It was at the convention center.
The concerts?
That's when I looked at, if you pull up Ocean City, it'll say down there that the concert is in the convention center or at the convention center. I don't know. That's what
Not what I thought. I don't think.
I'm just
I don't
telling you
know.
what I pulled up today and when I looked at it.
Hockey's on. How are you? Rohan says, I couldn't get there. No, it'd probably be a little tough for you to get here, especially it's only 4 days long. Is that the only way? If I can win, I'll be there. There you go. So you have to listen for the instructions on how to win. Russell says,
City
hopefully I will
Bike
get to
Fest.
meet you guys at the rally. So you can. Where is our banners? There you go. So email us your contact information and I'll send you back ours and we'll do our best to meet up with you. We try to do that with everybody that we that wants to meet us because we're all over. It's hard to pinpoint. And even though we say we're going to be here in the morning or there at noon, stuff happens and we don't always make it. So he tries to let everybody know. What?
I was looking because it was under the Ocean Center venue. So it doesn't say. It says there's an inlet venue. It says there's a main stage. It's going to be on the main stage, wherever that's at.
You don't have a map?
There's a media thing.
Couldn't get there. That's the only if I win. Hopefully we'll get to meet you guys. So Russell, you're the one. Email us over there. And if you're on, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. So that's Russell. Mark. Any updates on Barefoot Landing at Myrtle Beach? Yes, this fall, no vendors. Probably not spring either. Don't know for sure. Definitely not fall. Where they're all going to go, I don't know. I know there's a few of the vendors that they're trying something in Tennessee, I've heard. So I don't know. I think a couple that I've talked to are going to the Harley Davidson dealership down in Myrtle. So are the concerts outside? I don't know. I know most of them are. He's trying to find out where it is, where the main stage is. Just as a boy. Where are you now? We're home. Those are that's green. I don't know why it's showing up black, but it's the green vine.
Yeah, we'll have to find out more information on Ocean City when we get a hold
All
of
the
Chad.
concerts are down at the inlet. So are they outside or inside? Facebook user, I don't have your name.
Most concerts are outside. That's pretty much how most venues are, unless you're a bar or something like that. But a lot of times like that, I think the Cat House, for instance, they have a place inside where they can play. But because we're hearing now in Eureka Springs that the whole town of Eureka Springs is going to be setting up all kinds of stuff going to be going on. So it's going to be a great year to go check out Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue.
Trying to find out who the Facebook user was.
I think I would have told you in a minute.
They said the Challenger trikes will be there too. Tony told us that. All the concerts are in the end. That was Bob Watson. Mitch and Diane are on, and Jeff Gregory's watching. How about that?
So one of the things I highly recommend is Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. If you want to check us out before the end of the year and see us at a great event, maybe do some rides and stuff with us, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is the place to check out. Like I say, most of the time we're going to be in Eureka Springs.
George says the concerts are outside. I knew George would know.
Most concerts, like I say, most concerts are outside. That's pretty much how venues go. Here at Bullhead, they had them inside because they had an indoor, because it could be 100 and something degrees here. Hopefully on the coast there in September, it won't be too hot. Hopefully. No hurricanes going on.
Dave said in Myrtle, they used to have all of them at the parking lot, but they moved them all out. I guess they shipped them up to Barefoot Landing, and now Barefoot Landing's kicking them out. So
Myrtle Beach is just getting to be another one of those rallies that are just trying to get rid of motorcycles. Myrtle's Inlet, I don't know if they can find a place in Myrtle's Inlet that they can, get bigger trucks in and get the bigger venues and stuff like that there. If not, it's just a matter of time that it's going to be Myrtle's Inlet, and that's it. And we see that more and more. It's just like Daytona and Main Street. No matter what they say, give it another 5 years and it will be chased off of Main Street. And people say, well, that'll never happen. Yes, it does. If you've ever been down to Daytona and you ride along the A1A, and if you go back the other way towards the lighthouse, those roads at night have signs up telling you closed, do not enter the road. And if they catch you back there on your bike, you're going to get a ticket. And those roads a lot of them do cut through, and you can drive through the back of them. But once again, they put the signs up telling you they're closed, do not enter. So they'll do the same thing to Main Street when that time comes. And because it's just more and more of these little towns, big towns, Myrtle Beach, Daytona, a lot of them just are doing everything they can to push us out.
They don't realize the money that we bring in.
They don't care. They just want to get rid of it's all bad motorcycle people. Oh, they're bad
big
people.
Bad bikes.
Let's get rid of them. They make too much noise. They do this, they do that. And, well, it's the same thing. Myrtle Beach is trying to get rid of the Jeeps from down there too. They're trying to kick them out. They want their tourist groups, and that's it. So that's that.
So we're thinking it's not still written in stone, but we're going to leave the 2nd, October 2nd, to ride up the coast. Somebody asked a question.
But we haven't got to the coast yet. You're keeping us out of schedule.
Well, then let's get it going then.
You were still answering questions from before.
No, it's brought it up.
No, but you should tell her that we'll be talking about that in a few minutes.
We'll be talking about that in a few minutes.
So yes,
Steven says, no vendors in North Myrtle. They got issues up there. They had a shooting at the Blues place, House of Blues. That's where a lot of the vendors were at. They pushed them up there on that side.
I don't know. Did they have a shooting during the rally last year or this year? Or was it just a shooting lately?
Probably just a shooting lately. Because it's Murder Beach.
That's right. So what else?
Fun.
What else we have on the schedule tonight to talk about is the coast ride. The PCH, the one in California. We've been talking about it for a while. What brought this all about at this moment is we finally got a hold of Harley Davidson about a motorcycle for next year, taking a new CVO out. And what they kind of said is, we just don't give you a motorcycle for a year. What we'll do is we'll be happy to give you a bike and do different events with it. Go here, go there, do this. I'm like, well, we leave in February and we don't come back to August. So they didn't go for that. So what we're trying to do is, I wanted to get it before they decide they don't want to do this anymore, is we wanted to set up a ride. First, it was just going to be us and that would be it. And then they kind of said the same thing. Well, maybe people like to go. Because really, we were originally thinking maybe going this week. That wouldn't have worked at all.
Not with a hurricane.
And it had been raining all the way.
Art was supposed to come out and visit this weekend, but I don't think he's coming either.
No, I don't see him knocking on the door yet. So
he'll be like the Wicked Witch of the West. He'd be here. Look at his split with that wind.
He's rode in some bad storm before.
He has.
So what we're going to do is now we decided we were originally going to say we were going to leave on Wednesday. And then after I thought about it a while, I thought, it'd be better probably to leave on a Monday, because that way if people were going to travel out here to meet up with us, that we give them Saturday and Sunday to travel. If you're going to fly in, if you're going to trailer your bike, whatever you're going to do. So that kind of gives you an idea of what you need to do. You need to start kind of planning that day. We got to call Harley Davidson tomorrow, Monday. She'll make that, set it up with the motorcycle. So we have that all set up. From then we'll start calling on motels. But what we have to do is we have to get some kind of an estimate of how many people want to go. That way we know when we call, if we're just saying, hey, we're getting 5 rooms, or we're getting a dozen rooms, or we need 20 rooms. I really don't want to get much bigger than that. But we need you to email us if you're interested, which I've already got.
Unclick. All I got to do is unclick.
You did it again.
Well, you did it. Who's taking care of this?
You weren't doing it, though. So if you were interested in going, like, hey, what? There's a good possibility. I can get off a week or two and get out there and do this. I'm interested in going. Send us an email right here.
If you're more than 50% sure you would be interested in going.
You're just curious about our trip, don't write, because you're not going to get any more information after that. You're only going to get the information about what we're going, because I'm not going to end up, you'll see the video after the fact. If you want to do some of the things.
That's what Chad said. I can't wait to see the videos of the ride.
So you'll see some of the stuff that we do, some of the places we stop. We actually watched the video today, found some other new places. Depends on time is what a lot of it's all depends on. We're looking at a 6-day turnaround. So from the time we leave here on Monday, we would be pulling back into Southern California on Saturday. So that way it gives people a chance to get, you only have to, if you work a week, you can only take 5 days off, fly out on Saturday evening or Sunday morning, get back home, and you get back to work, or vice versa, whatever you need to do. So that's kind of why I picked the Monday through Friday ride, or Monday through Saturday ride, 6 days. We might be able to cut it shorter, just depending on what we want to do.
How many times we stop?
Well, a lot of it depends on what this ride is about. It's just not riding up the coast and seeing what's up there and turn around and come back. It's about stopping and seeing some really great things. When I do, a lot of people always say that, oh, you're not a real man if you don't ride to Sturgis, or you don't ride to a rally. The problem when you ride to a rally, how many places do you stop? Other than a gas station, place to eat, and a place to sleep, are you even stopping any other time? Not really. So it's just a mission to get there. To which we've done that. We've rode 2,200 miles before in 6 days to get to a rally. So did it make me any better person that we rode through that? I've rode through hail and sleet and snow, and I might as well be a mailman. But I got to change my shirt. I'm sweating to death.
So
another shirt somewhere here.
David said we should make the group as a benefit ride for the veterans, but we're not collecting any money. Yeah. The only money it's going to cost you is to get here and your gas, food, and motels. We're not charging for the ride, so we're not collecting any money. We can do it in honor of veterans and give them a shout out, but as far as giving money or anything, we're not really collecting any money for the ride. So I don't know how that would work unless we do like that one ride we went on. At the end of it all, we just collected a donation and then gave that to a veterans organization. If you guys want to do that, but I'm sure it's going to cost people a lot of money just to do the ride because motel rooms are not cheap. Gas isn't cheap, especially in California. And then depending on where you're coming from to do the ride, it's going to cost you to get out here. So I don't think we're not asking anybody for any out-of-pocket money other than getting here and doing the trip. See, you've got something because that's green. It's some sort of green screen.
I don't know. It's not set on green screen.
I don't know, but that's why my green plant looks black. Looks like I got Halloween decorations up, and it's not. Steven says, Southern California, how do you like the hurricanes? I called my daughter. She lives in Huntington Beach, and she said it's just been rainy all day. They haven't had any really high winds. They're used to Santa Ana's, but Santa Ana's kind of blow in and blow out and blow in, and this is going to be a constant wind. So they're worried about the winds, power outages, and the flash floods because California's not used to getting that much rain at that much time. Sorry, didn't feel like riding in the rain. I should have texted. That's okay. We figured with just the way the forecast was, Art, you weren't going to come. So believe me, we understand. Facebook user Gregory got smiley face and sunglasses on. Skippy Jones is on. He says he'd love to watch the videos of going up the coast.
So just depending on how many people go, if nobody wants to go, we'll go by ourselves. Well, we already know a couple people that said they're going to come no matter what. I think George said they were going to trailer over here. So
the strip show.
We'll probably have a couple no matter what that's going to go along, and that's great. I don't know if Art has to wait till Monday to see if he's got any, or Tuesday because he ain't going to work on Monday. See if he's got any vacation to go. He went with us the first time. And
we're probably not going to make it all the way up to Seattle. We might make it in a little bit into Oregon because we gotta probably take at least 2 days to get back, depending on how far north we go. But Scott said he'd love to ride from California all the way up to Seattle. But that's all.
We'll see how it goes because what we're thinking now is
if this turns out good, we'll probably do another one next year.
Probably.
And then maybe go a little longer.
Don't know. But the idea here is to have a chance to get this Harley out, see what it'll do, this CVO. It's got a new tour pack we're supposed to get. We're supposed to get a new windshield because I kind of complained it wasn't high enough. They got some new accessories. Not saying they took anything from my idea, but we'll see how that all goes. And so we just kind of wanted to do this just for this reason. One of the things we found out is one of the best times to see the sea lions that are up there. There could be as many as 1,800 of them that you can see along the way.
Quint Reeves. I never heard that name
so
before. We'll
be able to see a lot of neat stuff. We're thinking now not doing the Winchester Mansion or any big tourist thing like that. We're not going to do Hearst Castle. We're not going to do the Winchester Mansion, and we're not going to do Alcatraz, anything like that. Most of them tickets are $40-50 a piece, and it takes a half a day of time to do that. So we figure it'd be more fun to do the riding and see some of this great stuff, find some great places to eat, check out some of the really great little beach towns and stuff along there. We're going to show you some great places to check out just from history. I'm another big person that likes lighthouses. Stop by some of those, check them out. Most of those, some of them are actually free to get in. Some of them want to charge you $5 or $10 to go up top.
But just to see them, I didn't have fun.
But that's where we actually seen the gray whale and the gray whales and the orcas. We've seen 2 gray whales and 3 orcas at a lighthouse.
So I guess it'll be the 2nd through the 9th. You're going to come back that Monday?
No, we're going to come back on Saturday. It'll be 6 days. That's what we did last time, 6 days.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So we should be done by the 7th. So we might get a little farther into Oregon because of that reason. Because before the last time I did this, we spent a whole day doing Alcatraz and doing the Winchester Mansion. So we're going to gain that. We're going to end up with a whole extra day. So our first day that we're going to stay Monday night is going to be in Morro Bay. From there, we're going to go all the way up to, I don't know if we're going to go as far as Monterey or if we're going to go farther than Monterey yet. I haven't looked and seen. One of the places we're going to stop at is right before we get into the Redwoods. You'll get to see the trees of the giants. What do they call that?
Avenue of Giants.
That's it, the Avenue of Giants. So we're going to go through that, check that out. We're going to be able to go through. Anybody wants to go through the tree, they charge you $5 or $10 to go through.
So where would this ride start? Beggars and Coffee want to know.
Well, we're probably going to start somewhere around. My first guess is probably around Santa Monica. Maybe we'll start out from the end of Route 66, right there at the pier of. That's a really
Santa
great.
Monica Boulevard.
That's really a great place to kind of start. There's some decent hotels and stuff there. We'll probably. Just depending, because they can get a marine layer and all kinds of stuff like that.
Somebody else wanted to know if it was going to be hot. It could be hot, could be cold, could be rainy.
The idea is typically it should be it should be cooler. Okay,
won't be hot.
It's not going to snow. We don't get snow on the coast, but it could get. Last time we rode I guess we did that ride twice because we did the other one all the way. Because the time it snowed, it was just that was when we went. We were going to Sturgis.
Yes.
So I was thinking it was just us three. I'm like, there was nobody else with us. So we actually did the ride twice. So just all the way up like that.
It was cold that year.
Yeah. And that was in August. Yeah, that was in August. It started misting and it dropped into the low 40s. And she was like, I can't handle this. And we drove out to the 5. And how long was it there?
127.
From 40
Be careful what you wish for.
So she got what she got.
It was hot.
But yeah, that's a whole different. But the coast can be. The last time we did it with Art rode with us, and this is 13 years ago, we had some pretty good weather. We did get, I think, a little misty one day that we put rain gear on. But other than that, most of the time, it was all clear. You could get some really good shots. Now we're not going to be able to get up to Big Sur, just for the fact that the water, there's been a mudslide there last year, and they have not been able to figure that out yet. Every time they try to fix it, it collapses. It's just since we've been around here for the last 25 years, that thing's probably gone at least 5 or 6 times. It's gone down into the ocean. So I think they're going to end up cutting it out and going
inland somewhere.
Inland. Well, there was a way to cut through, which we've done that before too. There's a military base you can cut through, which we did it by ourselves the last time and had a bike accident during that time. And that's a whole nother story we'll tell you about someday.
Motor mounts.
Bad motor mounts on the old mounts when the motors used to shift. And I went to turn one way and the motor went that way and took me off that way. And so
we got it back up and got back on the road.
Yeah, after bending the
crash bars.
Yeah.
So
But that road's closed right now too. So because we could have went up to just to Big Sur, but I think the slide is right after Big Sur, I think, or is it right before? I don't know. I haven't looked at the map again. So the idea is we're going to go around that and we'll get back on the 101 and then come back across whenever we get a chance to cut across. I'm looking at the maps now. And then we'll take the rest of the way up to Monterey through San Jose through Monterey and all that. Pismo Beach, can't take motorcycles out there on the golf course, so we can't do that.
That was going to be a cool ride. We were going to do that. And they said, no, that's too noisy. You can't drive through our golf course.
There's cars louder than, I want to take a car up there with cherry bombs on them and rattle through the golf course.
There you go. Ryder X got 3 biker bars installed on his trailer today. What a pain in that.
That's pretty easy. Just had to have somebody underneath.
He probably did. Outfit change for Bob. Yep. It was a wardrobe malfunction. For some reason, the screen on there thinks it's a green screen behind us, and he had a green shirt on, so it wasn't working. So I had to go find a different shirt.
So that's kind of the ride, and we'll go as far as possible. We could probably definitely go into Oregon. I don't think we'll be able to go all the way to Washington because I think the last time we went, I think we took almost 2 days alone just going through Oregon and seeing all the stuff there, which is definitely cool. I would love to go back and do that. And we may do another one next year. Now, the idea of this year, why I kind of picked October was anytime after September, kids are back to school. So that way you don't have so much touristy stuff. Plus the prices might be a little better price than they are during the summer. So
he checked out one of the places we stayed. What was it? When we stayed, it was $39?
No. The very first place we stayed at was $35. Now it's a motel for the
ladies of the evening,
like lot lizards. And so last time we stayed there like 3 or 4 times. Well, the first time we went there was really great. We went to the hall group there, and then we made our ride to it. We went to it, and it was like, why do they only have one entrance open now? They don't have the circle.
And why do you hear people going up and down the steps all night long?
And then we found out that a trucker's delight there. So that was $35 that we paid back there 13 years ago. But up in Garberville, we stayed at the Best Western. And there we paid about $98. Now I just did a quick check. It was a little over $200 now for that same room. But I mean, we haven't called to see, because I'm imagining if we get 10 people that want to book rooms, or 8, I think we had 8 bikes last time. Eight bikes went along. We had 8 rooms we had reserved. Usually get a little better price. But same thing. We could stay a little closer to the Redwoods too. You can stay in one of them old fancy old style hotel rooms. Not a lot of thrills, but you'd be right there to
little
see more
cottages
stuff.
or whatever.
Yeah. Might be able to get a better deal there, because like I say, that's what I was thinking is October.
Don't tell them about the hostels.
Yeah, the main thing about hostels, everybody's in the same room together and you're all sharing a bathroom. So I don't know if that'll work out or not. But there's hostels that you can stay in lighthouses. And there's all kinds of stuff. We've looked into that once before, but we never got into doing any. It's just you're renting. A lot of people go to Sturgis. They stay at the mining college out in Rapid City, and then there's another one out in Spearfish that you can stay at, and I think it's like $50 a night or something, and you can get a room with all girls or all guys, and you share a bathroom. And one of our friends, well, actually,
Cherry,
she had done that for years. That's how she always went out there. She did the one in Spearfish, and then a girl that we met years ago out at Rapid City, she actually stayed at the one in Rapid City, I think, and she stayed at the mining one.
No, she stayed at the one Cherry did. It's called Black Hills
School or something.
Yeah, and I think it's an all-girls school.
Oh. But they allow guys too.
Keep matches in the bathroom. I know. I was thinking that too. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm getting hot too.
I don't know. Turn the air down. So that's kind of what the ride is going to be about. So what we do is a lot of people want to charge you for stuff like this. There's a couple other YouTubers I've seen pop up that want to do rides and stuff, and they want to charge you for it. That it's like $300 just per person, just for them to take you on these rides. Well, we're not charging you for nothing. I'm not making any money on this. The idea one is to get the Harley. The new CVO, try that out, take it out on some windy roads, see how it goes, see if I'm going to be happy with it. I might end up riding it after the trip and say, that's it. I don't want to ride this thing at all anymore. Or I might say, man, this is really cool. I like this bike. So we'll have to see how it all goes. We'll give it an honest opinion like you always know we do. And then we'll have a little experience. And the next time we probably might just take our bike out the next time we go and see how it goes. But we do stop a lot. We stop and see a lot of the tourist things that we'll be looking at, just like going through the Redwoods. Doesn't cost you a dime to go through the Avenue of Giants. Okay, that's a freebie. Now, if you want to go ride through the little tunnel of the tree, and it's like $10. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. If not, you can watch everybody else, or you can be the one taking everybody's pictures as they go through. We'll probably set a camera up and film everybody going through it that want to go through it. And that's pretty neat. It's also neat to kind of hang around and see if you can get a car to go through it. Watch that squeeze through. It's kind of like watching the eye on the needle.
It's tough getting the bikes through. Oh, 6 just ordered a new CVO. Holy cow. How about that?
There you go. You can bring it on out here and take it out with us.
There you go.
And but it'll be a good road. There is some jackknives. There are some places that we're going to be driving really slow. It's going to get down to about 15 miles an hour. My favorite stretch of Route 66. My favorite stretch of the one is actually from right after we cross over to San Francisco Bridge. We're going to make at the first exit. We're going to make a quick left, and we're going to head down towards Mirror Forest. We ain't stopping there because there's redwoods there, but hey, if you're going to go see the big ones, don't waste your time looking at
these are big, but not as big as the ones of the Avenue of Giants.
And so one there, we'll get on the one. That's a great little windy road to get down to the one. Get on the one. That's about 100. I don't know if it's 100 or 200 miles. I think it's 100 miles. It's going to take us over 8 hours to ride that. And that's not even saying we're going to stop and eat or drink or anything. There's one gas station in the middle of all that. But that was a place where me and Art were riding up there, and we had to stop and push the cows off the road. Then we turned around, looked behind us, and the cows are back out there.
They walked right
and
back.
This is the only place where the cows have prime
beachfront property.
That's right. They'll be out there on the beach eating. Well, actually, it's a cliff, and they're standing on the cliff looking at the ocean.
They're standing where the grass is, and then there's the beach.
So they're not in the beach
water.
eating sand. They're eating grass.
Yeah. So how many miles a day do you think you'll go?
A couple hundred. Well, I just watched a thing the other day. I got to ask my phone. The guy who was just watching on TV said it was only 700 miles the total way. And I think it seemed like it was more than that, but I mean, I don't know.
It's a hole in a tree. That's right.
How many miles from Santa Monica to Eureka, California, using the PCH1? Of course, he's not going to tell me.
So, Ryder X says, I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but who thinks the new CVO looks like the Indian?
I don't think that.
I guess he doesn't. Why would you have to order it? I see them in every dealership.
No, not the brand new one. You're thinking of the one that looks like a Honda. So the new CVO Street Glide and Road King are the brand new ones, not the 120th anniversary one. This is the two new ones that just came out here right before Sturgis. I think they came out with them. And they've got the new bigger engine on them. They got a 127 or something on them. They're fast. It's definitely fast. I always did a demo ride up there in Milwaukee. Yeah, it's good. The only thing I looked at it is Harley Davidson, the CVOs. I bought mine in 2014. They ain't done crap to it since today. They brought this new model out. It was the same bike. All they changed the motor. Heck, my 110 runs as good as the 114, the 117. I can keep up with those with no problem. So I never seen any advantage. Oh, they changed the chrome or something, but I mean, there's nothing fancy about the bike. Well, now this new one, the whole dash is touch screen. It's got everything that I've got on my Daytona digital gauges, Dakota digital gauges. And so all that information is there. It's got the, which doesn't make any difference to me, but I mean, they got the ride mode. You can switch like the Pan America does. You can go wet, dry, fast. And
sport mode.
Yeah. So you got all that's in there. It's got the air ride. It doesn't have air. It has nitrogen shocks on the back instead of the air shocks that they had before. It's more of a, to me, when I rode it, it was more of a sportier bike, which I would think more younger people would like it. But I can't say that until we really take the bike out and do this ride here. Then I can end up telling you, okay, now this is what I think of it. And would it be something that I would recommend or something I would even consider buying myself? At this moment, I would say no, but we haven't taken it out and really seen it, how it's going to perform.
So Scott, I think Rider X has a 135, but it's not a Harley crate motor. I think it's
he had
zipper.
Well, he had it. He had a head kit. He had the heads and all that put on. I think he's got a 131.
Anyway, I don't know. Did you see the S&S has, what was it, a 145?
Yeah.
They had a 131 or 141 we saw in Daytona. And then in Sturgis, I guess, or somewhere I saw it, it was a 145.
So from San Francisco on the one to LA, it's 460 miles. And if you rode it on the one, it would take you 9 hours without any breaks. Let's see what else we got here. Highway 101. We don't need to know about that. Highway 1 in a day.
Wondering if anyone would need to buy anything extra, header pipes or oil cooler.
For what?
I guess if you got the 131 or 135 engine.
I would definitely put all that stuff on there. If I got you can ask Rider X how that all works for him. He had the head kit. He's got the one. I think he's got the 131. And he even had to take his lowers off of his touring bike because driving down the highway, the engine got too hot. And it wasn't like 100-degree weather. It's probably high 80s, low 90s. I don't have to tell you what temperature that was. But it definitely is going to run hotter. And the problem what a lot of people don't realize is if you're going to putt around the town with that, you got the wrong thing. People put these big engines in their bike, and these are for you're almost like you want to go to a racetrack and you want to race this thing. And if you're only wanting to cruise around town with it or cruise on a nice ride, you don't need a 131. Go buy a sticker and stick it on the side of your tank, on the side of the bike, and nobody's going to know any difference because you're not, you're going to end up like a 145. If I put that on my bike, why would I want to, other than just to say I've got a 145? It's like putting a big block now. I want to put a 455 or a 454 in my Chevrolet out here, and I want to, and get 2 miles to the gallon on it, and I won't be able to pass a gas station up. And
Rider X says you're probably going to want new pipes on your 135 for sure. Probably a better cam as well. I doubt you will need an oil cooler,
but it wouldn't hurt. What you want to get is a bike. If you don't have an oil temperature sensor that you can read, like if you got one of the newer bikes now, you would definitely want the Dakota digital gauges to where you can actually see what your oil temperature is. If you're getting up around 300 on your oil temperature, you're getting hot. You want to try to keep it under 300. So I've heard some people tell me they've been up to 320, 350. That's getting pretty hot. You're just cooking stuff inside your engine. So you want to try to keep the bike, you want to keep it at a reasonable temperature because you need to get it over 200 degrees just to have, for your motor to run performance-wise.
We always get the premium gas and we try to get the ethanol free if at all possible. And if we had to choose between higher octane and ethanol free, we go with the ethanol free. Highway 1 goes to the 101 to Eureka. Yep. because it kind of intertwines a little bit. It does that all the way up and down the coast. When you get down by San Diego, there's no more one. It's the 101. And then I don't know if it's when you get up into Eureka, it's the same thing again. The 1 and the 101 are the same road.
All right, so we're going to ride, if we just did Santa Monica to Eureka, California, which that's not all the way to the top. I don't know the exact state, what city is at the top.
Crescent.
Yeah. So we're probably going to be looking around somewhere between 650 and 700 miles. That's going to give you a thereabouts. You could actually drive it in about 12 hours nonstop. So that gives you an idea. So when we come back, you can double that. Now we're going to come back the highway probably. We're going to take the 5 back. So, somebody might want to say, hey, I'll drive 650 miles. I'm just going to go ahead and go home. That's great. That's good for you. With us, we're going to do if we'd split it in half, and that's where we're going to stop. Wherever the halfway point would be is where we would stop. Unless we had really great weather, we might ride a little longer the first day, get down a little farther to where we could get. I always like to stay in Morro Bay. It's one of my favorite little fishing towns in the world is Morro Bay. That's why we're going to start as our first stop there. Won't be a long day that day. That day is only going to be about 150 miles is all we're going to ride. But just to spend the night down there, there's a great little fishing town to eat and a lot of great food down there to eat. Just a really cool area. We can also, from there, we can actually ride up a little ways towards Big Sur. If we get there early enough, we could actually take the bikes and go up to Big Sur, check it out, and then come back and then stay the night down in Morro Bay. So it's not that far from Morro Bay to Big Sur. So we'd be able to see that if you guys wanted to do that, which would be easy to do because, like I said, the first day we're not going to do a long haul. It's more or less getting everybody ready to go. We'll probably leave out of Santa Monica or someplace like that because we're going to leave from Huntington Beach. That's where we're going to be staying with our daughter. So we'll pull out of Huntington Beach and then meet everybody that's why I figured Santa Monica, Route 66, that's a great place there to get on the 1. Takes you down along all those beach towns that the beach area where Baywatch and all that stuff was filmed at.
Malibu and that area.
Yeah, so then we go up through Malibu. You can actually see the big fancy homes in Malibu. And then that gets you up. There's a big rock there. What do they call that rock?
Magoo.
Yeah, Mr. Magoo lives there. It's the Magoo. It's actually from the Air Force Base.
There's a Magoo Air Force Base.
Yeah, and if you really want to see something neat, they've got they used to shoot a bunch of missiles and stuff off from this Magoo base, and they've got them all out front. And I don't think it costs anything. Just stop and look at all the junk. Signs you can't hardly read them anymore because the stuff's got I got an itch in my back. That other side on the side, not the wrong side.
Well, you said on the other side.
No,
I was on this
same
side
side
first.
that you itched before.
Chad says, great show.
And so we're trying to stick to the topics that we have.
Always the best information. Thanks, Redorex. I'll know more about the bigger motor, less appealing sounds to me. So, Morro. Yeah, Morro Bay.
Morro Bay.
Yeah.
Morro Bay is just a really cool. It's one of when I go up the coast, that's always my favorite spot to stop. I just really, really like that. What she liked to do, which we might pass it when we go up the 101 after Morro Bay, which is soup time.
Oh, Anderson's pea soup. That's good stuff.
It's only like 25 cents a bowl, isn't it?
99 cents. That's at the one down in Dustin. That's a McGuire's. It's 18 cents for a bowl of soup, bean soup. But no, you pay regular price for but it's good. Good. It's thick pea soup. Good stuff. Especially if it's cold out. If it's cold, it feels real good. They said that's the Navy base up there, and it's Magoo. But they don't spell it the same way Mr. Magoo did. It's Mugu. Because they said
that's the only way we remember it. By thinking of Mr. Magoo, we can remember it's Magoo Rock. We always stop at that rock too and take a lot of pictures.
I didn't even know that was the name of it until we watched the video the other night. Upgraded kit with a new cylinder. So they're still talking about their engine. Laura said she was born in Eureka. How about that?
To get on the ride, you can go back up and see some. Maybe we can all stay at your relative's house.
There you go. You got anybody still lives there? We can all crash for a night. Save us all some money. You will get more power and more torque with the 135 crate motor. There you go.
Which you would be. And I'm not saying that you wouldn't, but it just depends on what you want to do with that. It's kind of like I've got the 110 on my bike. And probably if I changed the motor, I'd probably put a 120R crate on it. But I mean, the only reason I would do that because I don't want another 110. I would like something a little bit bigger. But the only reason I want something bigger is because my motor that I have on my bike runs just fine. With both of us on it, it's fast enough. It gets us where we need to go. I don't lose any power going up a hill. That's why I said to me, that's all I'm looking for. You know, if we started out with an 01, which was, I think it was the
97.
Was it 97, 96? Whatever the CID was back then. But I mean, when we went to Sturgis the first time, we almost had to get off the bike and push it up the hill. We'd hit the bottom of the hill
because
doing
of all
65,
the weight that was on the back.
65 miles an hour. Time we got to the top, we're doing like 40. So I'd have to get down the hill doing about 80 and try to hit the next one. We still wouldn't be doing 65. So then I got my 09. That was a 98. And that wasn't much better. And so we did cams on it and did some work on that. And it got better. It was a whole lot, but it would at least get us up the hill the same speed. And then we got the 110. And it was like, well, wow, I can get halfway up the hill and doing 65. And I can open it up now and we'll do 90 by the time we hit the top of the hill. That's all the power in the world that I need. I'm not racing anybody. I'm not taking this to the track. I'm past that age of when I had souped up cars and big motors and big loud exhaust. I don't, but everybody's to their own. And that's why they're selling those big motors, because there's people buying them.
That's right.
But I just see like this 145 we just looked at SNS. Somebody's going to people are going to start buying that to put on their motor. Two things are going to happen. Either one, they're going to kill themselves on the bike because there'll be just way too much torque. Or two, they're going to do so much damage to the motor because they're going to be more. It's like the guy that has the souped up 396 Chevy motor in his car out here is Chevelle, and he starts it up every day and lets it run for an hour and turns it off. And he doesn't realize all the problems you're causing that engine by just sitting there at an idle. Or they drive it to the store and back. And it does more harm to than
you get too big of engine in it and the whole thing just shakes.
Yeah. So everybody their own. Maybe we'll sit down with Rider X and he can talk all about his motor, his good things he likes about it, and his bad things when we get down to Ocean City. And we'll put that video up afterwards. And he can talk about what he did and what it all cost him. And which his prices will be different because it'll be a year ago that he had all of his work done. And
twice.
What?
Yeah, it done twice.
Yeah. He'll tell you not to have it worked on.
There you go. Also wanted to let you all know your videos was first class. Thank you, Tom.
We appreciate that. We try to do the very best, give you the best information that we can have, and we try to have some fun with what we do too. We enjoy what we do. We enjoy giving out great information to people. We love it when people come up and say, just like this rally here, we've gained about 1,000 new subscribers. We broke 23,000 subscribers.
Thank you.
And that just gets us to where, people come up and they're like, wow, I watched your channel for 3 or 4 videos you had out. It was so great. It showed me so much stuff to do. It's my first time. And we like that. And this year we kind of screwed up just because we did Milwaukee. And but same thing. I wanted to do Milwaukee before we couldn't really enjoy it. Harley kind of set us up there, got us in everything VIP, got in a little quicker. So it all worked out.
He says, thanks for reminding me, Tam, twice. I said, sorry.
Oh, that he spent all that money twice.
Ultra Cook.
So we'll see how all that goes. So that's the things that we were talking about tonight. Is we're talking about Ocean City Bike Fest. So we told you a little bit about that. We're going to that. If you're going to be out there on the Maryland side of the ocean, we'll be out there checking you out. Rider X and got a few other people that said they're all going to be heading out.
George will probably be there.
Yeah, and then we're going to do Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, and that one I'm really excited about. We're going to be there for a full week. We're going to do a bunch of riding, a lot of great stuff that we're going to show you about.
We're going to have a giveaway coming up that for Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue.
Right.
If you're thinking about going, don't have a place to stay, we're going to have a giveaway.
Either a hotel or a full site camping.
With passes to go to all those great concerts they're going to have.
That's right. So it'll be a great time. And so we're going to make that. We'll explain the rules of that next week. This week, probably Sunday, I guess, is a new week. So later this week, we'll explain all that to you. We might do a live or we might do a video to explain how that's all going to work and what you have to do to do it. So we'll have it on our Facebook page. We'll have it on our all 3 of our Facebook pages, and we'll have it on our YouTube channel and explain to you how that is going to work. And then we'll put all those names in a drawing and draw it and then call you and make sure you're able to go, because that's what happened last year in Daytona. The guy that was actually planning on going, something happened. Did he have a heart attack?
I don't remember. Something happened in the family and he couldn't go.
Yeah.
He was all excited. He got he says, I wasn't planning on going. And he says, if I win, we're going. And he was all excited. And then like the day before, he's like, I can't come.
So then we called the next person that was in line and he's like, yeah, I'll go. He was really
and
excited.
he didn't come by himself. He was going to bring his son and he was going to bring a friend and nobody wanted to come. He says, all of you, I'm going by myself then.
That's right. We had a good time.
Bikes, Booze, and Barbecue is September 20th through the 23rd.
Yep. So it's coming up really quick. We got about a month away. So things are going to be flying here. We're going to be taking off here on the 12th of Ocean City. I guess we fly out on the 12th.
The 13th.
We fly out on the 13th and get there on the 13th?
Yes.
No,
it only takes a few hours to get there.
I don't know. It's clear across the United States.
Did you think it was going to take us a couple days? We're
No,
not driving.
I figured we were getting there the day. We got to get to that guy's house first, and then we got to drive down.
He's going to pick us up. And it's an hour away from the airport.
Are they on tonight?
I don't see him on, no. I don't know. Are going to have the wagon. I don't know what that means. So not sure what you mean in there, 2 cents. Don't forget the 5 Bs, Sturgis 2023.
Oh, was that the guy? Are you the guy that said that on our channel?
Oh, yeah. Beers, babes, bikes. What was the other one?
I don't know.
He's had them all. He's like, he knew them.
Well, he knew. That's why he wanted to do it. If you're the same guy.
Yep. Sturgis 2024.
Yep. So we'll talk a little bit about Sturgis, since that was going to be my last thing we're going to wrap up tonight, and then you guys can say whatever you want, questions or concerns that you might have. But Sturgis, we will announce later this week where we're staying at in Sturgis.
He's telling you about it now.
So we don't have a definite. Well, we actually got 2 places that have invited us to stay again this year. And so one of them I was all ready to take because things just did not go to the chip like we had planned. So we went and talked to Rod. Rod said he was going to fix everything, and we have not heard nothing back from him.
Well, he was busy wrapping stuff up, doing taxes.
So she's going to call him tomorrow and see what the story is there, and then we'll make a decision before the week's out if we take which spot we're going to take. I don't know if we're going to have a location that you can pick to be with us. We haven't talked to him about any of that yet. The other place that we're looking at, they are willing to give us at least 4 extra spots, camping RV spots around us where we'd be. So that's a possibility. So we'll see what happens, because some of the people that we went this year with aren't going to go next year. So I don't know how many people are going to go. I know there's going to be probably a lot more go on the 85th. I say if you're going to make plans to go to Sturgis, definitely go the 85th. I have a really bad feeling that rallies are going to come to an end soon. If you've been watching, if you get on our Sturgis Facebook page, you can see there where there's a lot of people talking about how the downgrade of attendance has been over the last 10 years. I can't say if it's down. First of all, I can't believe what the cities are telling you. So I always talk about that anyway. There wasn't no 483,000 people coming through Sturgis. Just isn't happening. Coming down the highway, because Sturgis is now on both sides of the highway. Yes, they did come through Sturgis. But to actually come in and spend money at a bike week, that's a different thing. This year, I've never seen so many cars in all my life downtown. Never seen this many before, ever. That worries me, because that's one of the things that's made this rally so great, is because the bikes overpower the cars. You have some people are like, I'm not even coming down there town with a car. Now, I understand it rained and some people came out, but when I started looking at the cars on the next couple of days after the rain, it's little cars. And it's like, okay, they didn't pull a trailer. They didn't pull a bike with that. There's no hitch on the back of the car. It's too small to even put luggage already in the car. It's so small. So you look at the car, it's a variety of different ages, young kids, older people, senior citizens driving cars. So it's like, it looks like they're just looking around like they don't know what's going on. So I don't know if they came to the rally or if they're just driving through town, but I have never, ever seen so many cars as I have this time. Last year, we ended up with a 12 to 13% increase in cars. I'll bet this year we're close to 20% more increase in cars. I don't know. First of all, South Dakota is a very big tourist area because it's always stayed open. It never closed down during the pandemic. So Mount Rushmore was open every day. There was never a day they didn't open up. So a lot of the tourist stuff there was, and so it is what it is. But I worry about this industry because you see this more and more where we go. You see more guys bringing show bikes to the rallies. Daytona's like that. And then people talk about trailering a bike. And first of all, you don't know why somebody trailered a bike. Somebody could be trailering it because of somebody's ailment. We would have probably never made it to Daytona without putting the bike in the trailer. Not saying that I couldn't road 2,200 miles to Sturgis and back, 4,400 miles. I could have done that during the time when we rode all the time, but I couldn't take 4 weeks off from vacation to do it. You almost need 2,200 miles. I'm going to need at least 5 days to get there, 4 or 5 days to get there. I'm not riding, even if you rode 500 miles a day, you're still looking at 4.5 days to get there. So let's just say about 5 days on a good day. So you're going to do 5 days there, 5 days back. That's 10 days. Then you take a week of vacation. So you're looking at almost 3 weeks at least really almost 4 you got to have to take off to do that. Well, where I worked, I couldn't get 4 weeks of vacation off at a time. So it just didn't. That's one of the reasons I never made it there. Retired now. I don't, well, she can't ride that far. I don't know if I'd really want to ride 2,200 miles and turn around and have to ride 2,200 miles back. I'm not.
Ride like we used to.
Yeah. And so people are different now. And then, you also got to look and see how people, it's just like somebody else told me the other day that they trailered their bike. Well, they rode 2,500 miles while they were in Sturgis for a week. 2,500 miles. So some guy goes, yeah, I rode my bike 800 miles there, 800 miles back, and I rode 400 miles around. Well, dude, they rode more miles than you did. So, it's just because you see somebody pull something in the trail. I like it. If any of you know Adam Sandoval, he did a video on that the other day. He did 80 dealerships and 20-something thousand miles. And then he decided to Sturgis, he was going to trailer it. So he's like, do you think of me any less? Am I not a biker anymore?
Because he trailered his bike.
So I don't know, your phone's.
I hear it too, but I don't know what it's doing.
And so it is what it is. And like one guy was arguing with me, and I ended up finally taking him off the channel. But he kept going back and forth about.
That's what you get when you have your own channel.
Don't like you? Get your ass off. And but he kept going back and forth about it, and I'm like, well, first I asked him the question. He never did answer that one. How about the guy that pulls the trailer with his motorcycle? What about him? Well, he never wrote back on that. Then do you ever know, and it's like I got a buddy that's 63 years old and he rode all the way there. Well, how far are you riding, dude? Are you riding from Florida and you're riding 2,000 miles? Are you riding from Alaska? Where are you coming from? And yes, we did meet a lot of people. I met a lot of Australians that have rode 5,500 miles. They were riding around the United States. That's great.
We've been in Milwaukee. We even seen those people that came up from South America and they rode all the way up. And then it was like 5,500 miles or something. And they said they had to ride all the way back.
I think it was kilometers, what he said.
Whatever.
But it was.
That's what Rider X says. Who cares how you get there?
That's right. And I asked that same guy too, which he came up with a stupid comment. I said, well, how about you do this? How about we raise a fund for everybody that has a trailer to stay home? Pay them to stay home. How many people do you think is going to show up in Sturgis next year? Or at any bike rally? Well, I can't say any bike rally, but it's like Sturgis. Sturgis with not a trailer. Nobody trailers a bike there. Nobody brings a tow hauler. Nothing. Nobody. Just bikes are allowed to ride in town. I would tell you after about 3 days, all your vendors and most of the places would shut down because they're not going to pay for staff to come around for
a handful of bikes that show up.
5,000 to 10,000 people come in on motorcycles. Oh, that's the way it used to be. It used to be all bikers. Yeah, dude, none of this was there then. I have people, when I go back and talk to people that's rode 50 years ago coming to Sturgis, a lot of them don't even remember any bars being in town. Yep. Probably there's always been bars in every town, but they don't remember that because they didn't go to that. They partied in the campground or the
campsite, the park.
We just talked to somebody the other day that actually used to camp in front of the Indian store there on LaSalle Junction. On Junction there, that was the first campground. Where a lot of people said it was always the city park. But this gentleman that had been doing it for, what did he say, 75 years?
Something like that. It was a long time.
He had did it and it was like, wow, that's really.
Well, that's what he said when we asked, were there any bars when you came? He says, I don't know. I wasn't old enough to drink back then. So he didn't know when he first came if there were bars or not. I think he said he was 16 or 17 the first time he came.
But like I say, you just don't know about what the situation is, and times have changed, and it's different going to Sturgis versus going to Daytona.
They didn't have toy haulers in the 80s.
No. And so you go back and look at a lot of this stuff, and it is. I used to say the same thing. We used to ride to Sturgis, and I'd pass the trailers up, the toy haulers, people that have 5 or 6 bikes on a flatbed and hauling it, and we'd fly past them on a motorcycle thinking, oh, man, they can't ride all that way. Well, then once we pulled, I tell everybody that. You should tow your motorcycle one time to a long rally. And you would think differently about it, because what the difference is you're sitting in a seat all day. I'm relaxing. I'm still driving about as many miles as you're riding your bike, 500 or 600 miles each day. We usually can do. And when I get there, let's get the bike out. Let's go for a ride now. I'm ready. Let's go. But when we rode 2,200 miles, that's the longest we ever rode. We went all the way up the coast of California, into Oregon, crossed Idaho, crossed Wyoming, all the way there. It took us 6 days to get there. It was her longest and only long trip she ever really made. And when we got there, we sat there where the Harley has their big display there on LaSalle Street. We sat in that grass for 3 days and watched bikes, because it's like Art went with us. We just like I
Don't want to ride.
Just
I'm
don't.
tired of
No
riding.
mood to ride. I don't want to. We still got before we left. We were there for 7 days. We did eventually get out and do some rides and stuff, but it was a long ride, and it was fun. It was fun to do.
It was an experience,
but it wasn't something that I said. Did I enjoy doing it? No. But I don't enjoy driving the truck and the trailer all the way to Sturgis either. The whole idea is it's just you want to get there.
Yeah.
You want to get there. You want to have your fun. You want to get back in there. You want to get your butt back home. And that's why I said there's nothing different than somebody that pulls the trailer or the guy rides the bike alongside of the trailer all the way there. Now, I would grant it that if there's somebody that has a trailer that pulls their bike there and they never ride their bike, other than when they come to a rally, which we hear that in Daytona, then yes, that can be a problem because then you get people that don't have the experience to ride, which is one of my pet peeves here is stop signs. I have never seen so many stupid people that don't know how to stop at a stop sign. Hopefully all of you have read your rules of the road that if four people, if a guy pulls up in front of you, facing you, and you pulls up to you, and you're both going straight, who goes first? Next one is, I pulled the stop sign first. I'm going to make a right-hand turn. The guy pulls up to my right. He's going to go straight. Who goes first? So the first one doesn't matter because you're both going straight. Second one don't matter either because that guy's making a left and I'm making a right. So who cares who goes first?
You can go at the same time somebody else goes. You don't
right.
have, as long as you're not going to collide with them.
Or there's nobody in the crosswalks, which is the same thing. You morons that are out there walking, which we do too. We walk if there's already somebody halfway across the aisle and it's full of traffic, we're going to stand there and wait a few seconds and let that car here go at least. Let those two cars go, then we're going to go. You should take your turn just like the cars are. Not 10 people that just take their sweet old ass time across the road. Oh, I'm having a beer. I'm walking across. Now, because if you were sitting there waiting to get across that light, you'd be saying, so think both ways. And a lot of times we do. We actually jog a little bit across the road sometimes if we're the only ones holding up traffic because I know how aggravating it is when I'm sitting at the light and all these people are crossing the crosswalk. Dude, the lights turn red. We got a green. You need to, you know.
Stop.
If you were in New Orleans, we could run your butt over and it'd be legal.
So Ryder X says you think stop signs are bad. Don't get them started on traffic circles, the roundabouts.
See, we originally learned from the original roundabout, which was in Belleville, Illinois. It's been around for, I don't know, probably 100 years. They had horses going around it originally. So, but the idea was every other person went. It wasn't a yield sign. There was no stop sign, no yield sign or anything. When you pulled up, if there was a car coming, that car would go and then I would slide in behind that car. And that's the way you went around the circle.
Every other car, no matter where you were.
So if you were behind two cars, the next guy that pulled up to the light, or up to the circle, you would slow down and let that guy get in. So
common sense. I don't know. It just common sense does. That's the way we were raised.
But no, if you go to these roundabouts, it's got a yield sign. These people think it's a racetrack. They're shooting across and they're like, I ain't stopping. I ain't letting nobody out. We have the same ones in Arizona. They got them in Florida. They got them all. They think all this is supposed to stop more. I just wonder how many accidents they have.
Slow down traffic or whatever.
They talk about putting some out here and we're like, don't. You're asking for, first of all, we have a lot of people here are doing crack cocaine and they have enough trouble walking and riding their bike, let alone going around a turnabout.
Says if I get compensated from the court case, state-sanctioned murder, then I'd prefer a RV and buy a bike at Sturgis at the 85th.
There you go.
All right, Rowan.
We did the opposite. We took the bike there on our first time, not our first time, but if all this doing YouTube. We hauled the bike there on a U-Haul trailer and we bought the trailer there, and then brought the trailer back home with the bike in it.
Yeah.
We already had the trailer bought before we got there. We knew we were picking it up.
Says Bob's getting his cardio running across the crosswalk. Not a bad idea.
There you go.
Jaywalking is okay in California. You can do anything in California, not get in trouble for it.
No, we got in trouble for parking.
That was a long time ago. Now you can do anything. He got a ticket for parking and he gets out. He's so mad. He grabs the ticket. It's on the floor. I'm surprised he didn't have a warrant out for his arrest when we moved there. That was even before when we came and just on vacation.
Well, the problem with it, if you ever go to LA, the pole has 10 signs on it telling you when you can park and you can't park. This one says no parking anytime. This one says you can park from 6 to 3. This next one says, do not drive, don't park here between 3 and 4. So we're looking there. It was like 5 cars. Same thing as happened in Sturgis. Yeah, I pulled up there and we ran in the place for probably not even 5 minutes. I think we went in there to, I don't know, we were picking something up.
I wanted these curlers. It was at a beauty shop. And it's like, all right, well, it must have been like 5 minutes to 4, and you couldn't park there after 4 because it's rush hour traffic. So they wanted that lane open for people driving. So we went in. I knew exactly what I wanted. I got him. We came back out, and there was a ticket on the floor. So
I got mad. I took the ticket. It was a rental car. Took the ticket, throw it up, and I said, here you go, copper. There's your ticket. And took off. If I would have waited probably 5 more minutes, tow truck would have been there and towed it away probably. But never got contacted back. Well, first of all, it would have been a rental car, so it was under the rental. I guess back then the rental car companies is back in the 90s, I guess. I don't know. Don't know anything about it. Don't care.
I don't know. That wasn't the only ticket he threw on. There was another one some other time up there. Yes, she did. There was 2 of them. So I said, because my cousin, she came out to visit us and she went through a red light and then left and didn't pay the ticket. I kept saying, when are you going to come out and visit me again? She's like, I can't. I probably got a warrant out for my arrest. I never paid that ticket. I ain't coming back to California. I don't know. Stop signs are just a suggestion out there in California.
Yeah. Rolling stops. We had those in St. Louis too.
Never go to LA. It's like you have to have a degree in math to figure out the multiple signs. It is. It's crazy. Whoops. It's really bad in DC too. Not good, Bob. And then our son-in-law's dad was a criminal justice.
Well, he was a warden for a while.
And a warden, prison warden.
Jersey prison.
In New Jersey, state prison. Anyway, he came out and he got a ticket. We went to eat and he was, rah, 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 I got a ticket, parking ticket, rah, rah. And I said, well, when Bob came out here, I said, he just threw a ticket on the ground. And I said, you got a rental car? And he's like, I can't do that. I'm criminal justice. He said, how would that look to my students when I go back and try
to tell them? Well, they don't know, don't hurt them. But he was thinking that.
No, he wouldn't do it. He wasn't a happy camper. Bob's getting tickets just doing burnouts at the light. He's done a few burnouts in the truck, especially, and even pulling the trailer. Those people can't handle 4-way stops, and they throw in a roundabout. They're really going to get stupid there. Yep.
I don't think Sturgis ever put roundabouts because the stop signs are all gone. They're only there during the rally. And the reason they put them up there is a couple of reasons. 1, to slow the traffic down. And 2, to let people cross the street all the way because there's people crossing the street all the time anyway. And so that's part of the issue was, I don't know if you heard Professional Monkey. She got pulled over. Mrs. Monkey. She got pulled over. And because I guess she rolled through the stop sign. And
she was turning right.
Yeah. So they ended up letting her go. And
she says, I gotta watch my husband. I don't know where I'm going. I gotta follow him. And then he's over there saying, hurry up. I gotta follow her because my headlights out. So they were getting cross signals. So I don't know. She got out of it. So that's good. I'm surprised Bob didn't get a ticket for littering his parking ticket. I don't know. It was rainy that day too. So roundabouts are fair for all users. I don't know. I just think they're insane. One in the whole city isn't bad, like what we had when we grew up. But some of these, I mean, they're like every 3 blocks.
We get in California along the beach there, not where we're going to be riding, but down along San Diego, it's like that. It's I forget which town it is. They must have a dozen of them there.
Right past San Diego.
And one right after another. And it's like, I don't know. If people would be considerate, which we don't have that anymore. It's like some guy wrote me the other day. It wasn't the guy that we cut off on coming out of the thing, but guy said that we came out of a rest area, and he said he had to slam his diesel truck on so he wouldn't hit us. And when I pull out, especially at a rest area, I look. If there's plenty of room for me to get out, I get out. If it's not, I slow down a little bit, let the truck pass me, or if it's next to me or whatever. Well, apparently, I'm assuming this guy did after he came over the hill. I'm pulling out while I'm picking up the speed. So it's 75 miles an hour. So I probably hit the end of that ramp doing 45 or 50. He probably came over the top of that hill. And here I am instead of switching over to the left lane, it's like I do. Just like the guy that ran off the road at not Buc-ee's, but at Great America. And that guy there's construction on the road, so there's only one lane.
I figured that's where you were talking about.
No, this guy said he had a semi, so he said coming out of a rest area. So so I'm pulling out, and there's only one lane to go into. There is no exit ramp.
Construction.
Yeah. So there's no way for me to yield. There's no place for me to go either. So I did have a yield sign. So there's a semi that's probably, as I'm coming up the ramp, I can see a semi. And then I look behind him and there's a big length between me and that semi. Well, when I get right before I get to the ramp to get on the highway, there's a ledge about that big. So I slowed down a little bit, jumped that ledge with the truck and the trailer, and I went to pull out. Well, here comes, I don't know if it was a BMW or Mercedes or what the hell it was. And the guy, I could see, he was laying on his horn, and then I looked in the mirror and he slammed his brakes off. He went off on the side of the road. But it's like I said, when we drive like that, I'm always courteous to people that are coming up on the ramp. If there's somebody coming up on a ramp or a side street or whatever, trying to get out, I'll either slow down to give them time to get in front of me, or I be very cautious when I'm coming up to that exit because I want to make sure they don't hit me. So in this case, this guy, I don't know what he was doing. It could have been a woman. I have no idea. I couldn't see in the car who it was. It was, like I say, we were going on the highway and I could just look in the mirror and I seen the guy off on the side of the road honking his horn. And so I don't know. I don't know what that person was doing, but being it was bad thing was it was a construction zone on Wyoming. It was 75 normally, and they dropped the speed limit to 65. And the rest of the states we went through dropped down to 45. Yeah. So there was already too fast of a speed in the first place to get out. And this is a truck stop, that Great America, and there's a lot of trailers staying there. I can just imagine if you got people like this last guy that almost hit us that isn't paying attention that, hey, there's an exit ramp coming up here. I better be looking to see if there's somebody coming. And it was daytime. So it was like, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it wasn't that late, between 4 and 5. So it wasn't, but it was heavy traffic. So it was like, there was no way that I could stop and never get out. But same thing, if there was a semi there, they would have probably made sure they would have stopped with no problem. They would have seen it. But how they didn't see a big old white trailer and a truck sitting there, I don't know. But I don't know what happened to that guy, nothing else. But this other person said I was coming out of the rest area, which we did stop at 2 rest areas. One,
that one we just drove through, remember?
Both of them we drove through. Because one had portable potties, and then the other one
was all closed up.
Yeah. So either one. But when I pulled out, I had a trucker's lane to stay in to get my speed up. So I got as fast as I could go. I'm not flooring it. I'm going to get as fast as I can go. I look over. If there's nobody in that lane, I turn my turn signal on and I edge on over into the traffic lane. So where this guy came from that said he had a semi, he had to lock him up. I didn't see anybody locking up a semi behind us. So I don't know. He was just saying you wouldn't have such an excellent time if I would have hit you. If you'd hit me in the back, you would have bought me a new trailer, a bike, a golf cart, and maybe a new truck. So
they're all talking about the roundabouts again, too. They say they do that so they don't have to put in street lights.
Well, it's supposed to keep the traffic. The idea is keep traffic flowing. But people don't, especially the ones in Florida. We've run into the ones in Florida to where you're going around, you just can't get in. Because you got the yield, so they're all thinking, I can just keep going, one car after another. And it's just a steady flow. And it's like, now cars are backing up behind me. So either I got to cut out in front of somebody, hope they don't hit us, because they're not letting you get in. And in some of these stupid cul-de-sacs, people don't know the cul-de-sac, these circles, that you have to watch what lane. Some of them have 2 lanes. So this first lane, if you stay in the right lane, goes to the next exit, and you automatically get off. The other one will go loop around, and you can keep going around in circles forever. So it ends up being that you hurry up and get in the first lane because you're going to go to that first turn and you're going to make a turn at the first right. Well, the guy down the left lane, he wants to get over because he needs to make his turn on that right, or vice versa. I need to get over one more lane because I want to keep going straight that I'm already going. So some of those roundabouts that have 2 lanes can be very confusing to people. And I can understand that because people can't figure out how a stop sign works. So they definitely can't figure out how a
roundabout works.
Yeah.
How's the new shop going? Somebody asked.
So I did some, last 2 days, didn't do a whole lot. It's really hot. And so I got the last wall up, the 2x4 brake, or the studs are up. I got those anchored to the wall. I can do a little bit more of that. I might do more tomorrow morning. As soon as the stupid rain goes away, the humidity will go away. And I don't mind working if it's hot, just humidity. I sweat like a pig. So we're hoping that probably the next day or two, she's going to need to go down. We're going to need to measure how much drywall I need to get. And then I got to run some wire. I got to run wiring for the split unit, which that's not very far because the fuse box is right there. I just got to put a box on the outside. I need to put some concrete down to he gave me a bracket to hang it off the wall, off the ground, but with the steel building, I really can't use that bracket unless I build a frame inside. I'm not going to go that much trouble. I'd rather just pour concrete instead of concrete outside.
It's a steel building. When we had those 180 mile per hour winds last year, right after the building got built, didn't flinch. There's a couple of different garages around us that blew out their garage doors, but our building isn't going to go anywhere. He said the heavy rain and the wind will test your shop.
I already did last year. So
because the wind said we're going to get.
Yeah, we don't have any. It's been raining here since we've been gone. So they've had rain here. I don't know. We have monsoons. So when they come in, they're like having a tropical storm for about a half an hour, about all they ever really last. It's like here, we really haven't had it. It still looks like it's kind of sunny outside, maybe.
Yeah,
it's really light outside.
Yeah.
So we may not get much rain at all here. So I don't know. They actually now say the storm's kind of going more west now. So it may end up being more in California than they were saying it was going to run up the Colorado River. And I wasn't too concerned. Our house is actually made out of concrete, and the garage is steel.
It's not going nowhere.
They're both insured now, so we don't worry about that anymore. So
don't know where Pancho is. I don't think he's on tonight.
Pancho and Lefty?
No, Pancho that we met up in Sturgis. We finally got to meet Pancho.
Was Hair 2990? Is that one of his buddies?
Well, they were at breakfast with us that morning, remember?
Yeah.
So
who let Pancho out by himself?
I don't know. 180 degree. Yeah. We had that microburst. They wouldn't confirm it.
Here's what, they wouldn't tell us. They told us 80 mile an hour winds, but the power company told me, she said 180. But they said, power company says their telephone poles will withstand 150 mile an hour winds. We had about 30 or 40 of them, and across some of the fields here, they just snapped them off like twigs. So we know it was 150 mile an hour burst winds.
Plus.
Yeah. So we don't know nobody will tell you what the winds are. But yes, we get typically here we have 50 to 60 mile an hour winds anyway during the summer. Every
day.
During the wintertime. So we pretty much accept that anyway. So when people say 30 or 40 mile an hour winds, well, we're not pulling the trailer and I'm not out riding the bike in that wind either, but we get a lot of that. And we have two seasons, hot and windy.
That's what they had a reputation. Said they used to live in Lake Havasu, and the lightning storms are beautiful.
Yeah.
Was it the first night or second night we got to Sturgis at the Buffalo Chip?
Yeah.
There was this lightning storm. It was just amazing. I sat outside for like an hour and watched it. It was pretty cool. The Twisted Tea is going to be set up at your shop. I don't know. I doubt it. I like Twisted Tea, but I don't know. We just don't drink a lot. We've got a Twisted Tea banner, don't we?
Yeah.
I think so. Is that the one that says Bob and Tam's meet and greet?
Yep. I take all those down. So still got a lot of work yet to do. I wanted to get the split unit. I kind of thought I was going to do it this week, but I could have got the inside unit done, but I wasn't. I don't know. There's a few other little things I'm trying to get done. I wanted to get the one wall up, so that way it's up now, done. I can now because we're going to get the 12-foot sheets of drywall and then stack them on top of each other. So it'll only go up 8 feet high all the way around the outside of the shop. So the upper part of the shop, it's insulated. I'm not going to finish that off. There's no need to it. The idea was I wanted to hang banners and stuff on the bottom lower level. So I wanted something to hang them to. And then plus to hide all my wires, because all my wires, my outlets and all that stuff is going to be behind the drywall. I ran it all through the 2x4s, the code and all that exciting stuff. So I still got to I got to finish wiring up the bathroom. I haven't done that yet. I got a hot water heater I got to put in yet. I got a tankless. I got to run the wiring for that. I got to run wiring for the air conditioner out back, the central area for the building. And then I got to run wire, which the wire for the split unit won't be no big deal. It's like, 6 feet to 8 feet away. So it's not that far for me to run that wire, but I got to put the box outside for the split unit out there, which that won't be a big deal to do all that. Just got to quit raining enough for me to pour some concrete.
Are you going to put a weather vane up on top? I don't know. That's
probably not.
What, 40 feet up? How tall is the building? It's pretty darn tall.
Well, we have 12. No, we have 14-foot doors. So the building inside, I think, if you go to the bottom brace, I think it was 18 feet up, and then it's a pitch roof, so it's going to be higher. So I don't know.
25 feet. I
have no idea what the peak is.
So probably not.
Probably not. If somebody sends me one, I'll put one up. But
how are you going to get up there?
I'm hoping I'm going to talk to that guy and let me use his
genie lift
to where I can do all my wiring inside up high. I got to hang some lights and put my cameras up outside and all that good stuff. I got Romax to run for all that. And I got a bend. I guess I didn't buy that bender.
bender.
Pipe bender I was going to buy. It was on Amazon. It was a closeout, or was it somebody had it on? I don't know where it was. Someplace had it on the closeout. I was going to buy it and I didn't do it.
I don't know. Hope Bob has wings. He has to drink one of them Red Bulls. Doesn't Red Bull give you wings?
Yeah.
Fill it with bikes. Right now, it's for 3,000 square feet. There's not a whole lot of extra room in there now.
Well, we got to get one. We got wood. I got a whole thing of wood still in front of where the studio office part is at. So that's enough to put my whole truck could sit there by itself. So now I got to figure out what I'm gonna do with the rest of the wood that I've got in there. I don't know what else I'm gonna do with it. I have a real need for it, and we'll see. Some of it's all got twisted and stuff from sitting on the floor after we left. Bad news about when you get green wood. And when you get it and it's still wet, it's got the sap still in it, you really got to put it together right then. If you let it sit, and because my idea was to order more. Next time I order wood, I was going to send this stuff back with the new wood, but now it doesn't look like I'm going to need any more wood. So,
do we have a rain gauge on our fence post?
Nope, because we're never here to look at it.
Not really. Our Sasquatch Rough Riders are beating the BC.
British Columbia.
I guess they're right.
So that's what we got going on today. So if you're interested, and put our email back up again. If you're interested in going with us or get more information about our ride up the coast on the first week of October, this is where you need to go, over here. Email us and say, hey, I'd like to go on your ride, depending on what it all costs. Well, you can figure typically you're going to probably average about $150 a night for motel rooms, just as an average.
So times that times 6.
Yeah. So that's going to be for sure. You're going to spend that much money. The second thing you're going to do now, you can
gas and food.
When we give you information on hotels, if you decide, hey, I'll stay at I'll stay at Motel 6. I'll save my $20. Well, you can do that. We'll tell you what time we're going to leave. We're not going to probably leave every morning at 7 o'clock. I would say probably most days it'll be 8 or 9 o'clock before we head out every morning. But you have to eat before that. When we leave, we don't eat. A lot of times that's why I like to stay at Best Westerns, because they have some kind of breakfast before you go.
Even if it's just a donut and coffee.
Yeah. So even at that, that's why I say you save $10 a person by just getting something like that there. So if they've got a breakfast, I prefer to do that. And then we'll stop for lunch sometime around noon or something. And then wherever we stop that night will be dinner time. So that'll be kind of how it is. The only stipulation we'll have for time is how to get to each place we go. You know, one day we're only going to ride probably about 100 miles because it's an 8-hour ride on the 100 miles. The next day we might, as I said, altogether it's about 700 miles. So like I say, there's a good chance we could get up into Oregon too. So that's possible.
So we're going to start at Santa Monica Pier probably on October 2nd. I don't know where you're going to end up at.
Morro Bay the first day.
No, when you end the ride.
In the ride, you end up wherever you end up at going. So we come back down to 5, we're going to Huntington Beach.
So I guess once we hit LA on the way back, you're on your own.
Well, because it's wherever you're planning on how you're getting home. If you're
renting a bike, or if you're leaving from LAX to go home on a plane, I don't know.
Yeah, so it depends on what everybody's doing. If it's like George said, he might go back out and leave his trailer out at our lot and then ride his bike from our house here in Arizona to, well, it's actually a little farther than that, but it's about 250-mile ride from here back to LA. So he was going to leave his bike here, his trailer and his truck, drive his motorcycle and a sidecar over there. And then I guess he'd stay all night somewhere there and then be ready to go that next morning.
I didn't know that.
Right.
They said twisted tea out of a barrel in a mug is much tastier than the can.
I don't know.
I never had it.
We got a tapper in there. We haven't done that with a kegulator.
Yeah, we do. Skip Oregon to base is.
I don't know. Lighting on the coast is pretty cool. We did the car last year. And at the end of the year, we took the car up there, and it was pretty neat. There's some stuff along the coast there. We met some nice people while we were up there. So we're not looking to get into Oregon. I'm not going to any of the big cities or anything like that. We're just staying strictly on the coast.
Well, there is I think 90 miles inside is the first Harley dealer inside of Oregon. Because when we were there, that's what they said. You guys should go up to the Harley Davidson dealer because we just went to the border, took pictures, and came back because we were right there on the.
That was when we went the first time.
And so it was 90 miles was just like too much for us. I don't even know if that dealer is even still there. I don't know. Morro Bay is awesome. That's one of his favorite places. Rain, very possibly. Really enjoy your Sturgis shooting. Thank you.
So when we talk about
Carmel.
packing, she'll do a video here real soon about packing. We can probably just take one of the ones I had before and redo it. But the idea of packing is we bring. So what we have the 2 side bags on there. We have a tour pack, and we'll have a little bag on top of the tour pack. And we bring everything that we need for that whole trip. She won't do laundry or anything during that time. Now we bring 2 pairs of jeans. We're going to wear one jean half the time, the other pair the other half. Now, if something happens, we have to clean them. Then she'll do that at one of the motels when we get there, do laundry at one of the hotels. But typically, we can usually get 6 days without doing it. She'll bring enough underwear, enough socks, and a different shirt every day. And she rolls everything up really, really tight. And then we wear our boots. And in this case, I won't bring another pair of shoes. It's not like we're going to be walking long ways. We're not, as I said, we're not doing any of the big toury stuff. If I was going to do the mansion or we were going to do Hearst Castle or something like that, then I'd bring another set of tennis shoes. So I won't need that. So I won't bring that. So we bring rain gear. We always have our rain gear. Did we find my rain gear?
Nope. I think it's at the shop.
So bring my rain gear. She brings her rain gears. I got rain boots. She's got rain boots, so she remembers to get them out of the trailer.
Cookie gave them to me.
And
luscious.
So we bring that. We bring 2 coats. We have a sweatshirt that we wear, and then I have a neoprene coat that's a Harley one that I wear over it to where if it gets into the high 30s, that will keep me warm. We are going to wear our full face helmets the whole time. Just don't have room to pack extra helmets, and the chances of it raining and getting cold is possible. So it's a whole lot better to have a full face on it. And then we have these little neck things that pull up that you can, if we're wearing our half helmets, it'll keep your ears warm and your face, put it under your nose. And so we keep that. That'll keep your neck cool or warm. So that we bring gloves. I have my fingerless gloves. And then I've also got to go get my new fingerless gloves too with my $80 coupon from.
I don't know where you're going to do that.
We're going out to Muddy Road one of these days. Got a couple weeks yet.
There's a lot of camping equipment nowadays that are no problem. Yeah, but we're going to stay in motels.
Now, you can bring your camping gear because somebody else said that. Said, man, I go with you if I could camp. There's places, we'll tell you where we're stopping. You could find places around there to camp. We're going to be all around National Forest, and you can pretty much put a tent there for free. And so, yes, if you're a tent camper and you want to do this, we'll tell you where all of our stops are at. And same thing, if you're somebody that says, I don't want to get up till 10 o'clock every morning. She can't get out of bed. Well, here's where our next stop's going to be. You'll know every day where our stop's going to be other than lunchtime. I don't normally know where we're going to stop for lunch because I don't know how our pace is going to go. Usually I pull into town and I feel hungry. It's time, let's look around and see what we can find here decent to eat. And we try to find more local places to eat. But we will do McDonald's or something like that if worse comes to worse. And sometimes it's nice to have a cheap meal once in a while. McDonald's ain't that cheap, but we get the $5 specials.
Not at McDonald's. I got my little app, and I usually get a free large fry, and we'll both get a burger, and I'll get a water, and he'll get a drink. And
under $20.
It's usually under 10. Yosemite, nope, not on this trip. Was Yosemite? We went to Yellowstone. Have you ever been to Yosemite?
No.
$35 at the Redwoods, I think, to camp, to put up your tent.
It's kind of high.
Camping, I mean by less packing, not necessarily camping.
Which is true. And then we're not taking any chairs or anything like that along with us. We don't, you're not going to be sitting around watching stuff. If we're in a motel, you're sitting in
We're usually going to be pooped by the time you get there. We're going to eat and go to bed. That's usually what we do.
Well, I'll maybe editing because I might want to put a video out every day about where our adventures are and then have a big one at the end. So I don't know. We may even do a live from there one evening, depending on internet and all that kind of good stuff. So that's more stuff I have to pack. We're looking now for a small Mac computer to take along. Something I don't have to take as much and don't take as much equipment as we normally would take. So, But some of it, I almost want to take the bigger Sony, because if we do that bridge, they said to get the good shot, you have to get a really big zoom lens. So I know that'll zoom in pretty good to get that great bridge.
Oh, where are you gonna put all that?
Go find a place.
Because if we got both sides packed, your rain gear gonna take up the.
It goes in the bag up top. Rain gear can stay up there. We can get our rickrack bag.
Is the tour pack gonna have a luggage rack on it?
Should. We'll call and ask. It's your job tomorrow.
Hollister, Old Independence Rally. Yep, they don't have that no more either.
That kind of, we heard that's what really ruined
All the
motorcycles.
rallies.
Because after Hollister had all that trouble, they said Sturgis almost went belly up. The city was trying to get rid of it and everything else. After all that trouble Hollister had, we've been to Hollister, but never during an event that they had.
Nope, he won't wear 2 per day. Only if he gets something on his shirt. Let me know if you need anything. I don't know what that word is.
That's the name of the coast. That's up. They must live up there. I can't pronounce it either, but it's up on the coast.
Mendocino?
Yeah.
We went by Half Moon Bay. We went there. Or that was down at Michael.
Yeah, I think so. We've been in a bunch of those old towns up there.
I think that's right around San Francisco.
So it'd just be a great time, a lot of fun, and just roll it along. And,
If you can make it.
Yeah. And we stop quite often. It doesn't really have a mission. Our mission is just to get to the hotel that night before dark. So by 4 or 5 o'clock, we'll be there, if not sooner.
Yeah, Fort Bragg. Somebody brought that up. I don't know if it was you, Jeff, earlier too. We'll go to Fort Bragg. That's where Glass Beach is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is in Fort Bragg. So we'll stop by there too. Marlon Brando made that old biker movie. Filmed in Hollister. Oh, sorry.
Not like Shane got like 10 hours of sleep last night and 13 the other day.
Trying to catch up.
Can't catch up, they said. Doesn't work that way.
I try. Yes.
Work that way.
So yeah, that's where we'll be. We'll stop there too while we're on. Is Mexi Philly going to be there?
No, he's still doing rallies.
Mexi Philly is going to be at Ocean City Bike Fest and Bike Blues and Barbecue.
Yes.
I don't think he's going to go on the ride up the coast with us.
No, he don't have a motorcycle. If you didn't know that, they don't have a motorcycle.
I guess not.
I don't think they even have a scooter.
I don't know.
I don't think they have a scooter either.
He's got an electric bike.
Yeah, he's got that.
It was great to see you together. I guess us and Eli. We got to see a lot of YouTubers this year. Did meet up with the Monkey and Mrs. Monkey. We saw Adam Sandoval. We saw Mexi Philly. I don't know who else we saw. Who else was there? Harley One Forever. Harley Frank.
That's the guy with the beard.
The Henri one.
No, well, he was there too.
No. Prime Cup Pro. Awesome Documentary. All those guys were at the Content Creators Hangout.
Yeah. There was her 2 wheels. We never got to talk to her. I don't know. She
did come and say hi. We saw Highway Vixen. We saw Vicky.
She says she doesn't think I like her. It's almost like she doesn't like me. So I don't know. To me, it doesn't matter. There's really not a YouTuber I don't like. Everybody's fine. I don't really watch everybody's videos, so I don't really know everybody what they're putting out. We originally I watched Adam Sandoval. That was probably my first motorcycle person I ever really watched for years. But I mean, I don't really watch him at all now, just because we're so busy and we're filming and I don't have time. So I don't really have a time to really watch anybody's videos. I get a time, like once in a while. I was on the Monkeys the other day. He was on his live and I got on there a little bit and chatted back and forth with him and a couple other people that were in there. But I don't really have anybody we really watch anymore because we're doing this so much. We're if I put a video out every day and now I'm back to working in the garage and trying to set all the stuff up that's coming up, I don't really have any time to be really watching a lot of YouTube. We watch a little bit of TV before we go to bed, and that's about it.
Charles Webbing said she's a YouTuber, and then XM Biker, he's a YouTuber.
Yep. We met him.
Brewers and Cafe, he's a YouTuber. Ban them.
So we have a lot of them, but it's just like that Vicky from what's her Highway
Highway
Vixen.
Vixen.
She came up to her in Daytona or in Sturgis and said, "I know Bob don't like me," and I'm like, I've never said anything good or bad about it. I don't know. I never really had any feelings either way about her. And we met her down in Daytona and talked to her a few minutes before.
Yeah, we saw her on Main Street. We talked to her.
So it was like no big deal. Well, then there's all this stuff that happened at Topless Tuesday that I really don't care. But I guess it was her and a bunch of other people. And there's another guy that's got a YouTube channel, and they're going to try to do all this stuff. And what's the funny thing is I tried to do the exact same thing that they did 3 years ago. And the moron Tom, the announcer guy, that's not the guy that runs the show, the guy that owns that puts it on.
We've met up with them, but don't hang out with them.
I'm not. And so they're all like, oh, they actually gave me a bunch of advertising while I was there saying that, oh, I did this and I did that and I did this. Well, so far the videos they're putting out, I'm not that impressed with anyway. But you know, my last video I put out 2 years ago, it's got like 200,000 views, and it doesn't show anything in it. It just shows how we walk around and talk to people. And I've already seen a couple of people do some of those videos, and they're not us, so they're not doing it like we do, which is fine. I don't really care. We probably
never got to meet up with the Bogan either.
Yeah, and we never did see him. But we'll probably never make it out to Topless Tuesday again. We're probably done with them. I've got a video coming up, a highlight of the best of the last 3 years, because a lot of people didn't know what all happened back then. Somebody took a bunch of pictures. We're going to put some pictures and stuff in it. But whatever they're going to do, I'm okay with. But in my case, I really don't care. I've actually got information that I could. Well, we'll leave it at that. We could do some stuff, but I won't do it because I called a lawyer and found out some stuff. But I'm going to be the bigger man, and I'm like, I don't really care, because if it keeps going the way it is, it probably won't be a few more years, and it probably won't be there anymore either. A lot of people don't like what's going on out there. And we talked a little bit about it last year. Some people call it a poop show, that it's not like it's supposed to be. And it's not fair to a lot of the girls. It doesn't really do justice. And you can't see, it's not a very big place. It's just a real hassle. And like I say, I haven't been there this year. Last year we were only out there at the beginning. I didn't stay for the contest or nothing. We've done it the year before that. I was there for almost 12 hours and doing it all because the guy wanted to do this. And the whole idea was, which some people don't understand, he was supposed to pay us to film it. And he came up with no money. So I put out what I had on my Patreon channel. I made a couple $100 off of it. Did it pay me for my time of going out there? No. Now, my other video did 2 years ago that I did, my intro video. I've already made way more money from that, and I didn't show nothing in it because people are still coming back to our channel to get the correct information to go and see events. What can I expect? What do I do? It's like one of the YouTubers said last year that the parking lot was empty, but they made him park all the way out as far as he could to park instead of parking staggered. But I think he came in a car, and that's why they made him park out there. But it is what it is, and it's doesn't make any difference. But I mean, it's a lot of these events, we don't make it every year. We didn't make it to Hewlett this year. We don't go out to the Ham Jam every single year. We go out every other year. We go check that out. We don't do every single event every year. I would have liked to go out to the Stone House. I would have liked to make it out there this year. We didn't go to Custer State Park. No, this is the first time. I have never been to Custer State Park during the Sturgis Rally. We've always gone. Is it still available on Patreon? Mine? Yeah. My stuff is. You can still go to our Patreon for the $25. You can see the last 2 years. And I'm going to re-edit all the stuff that I have. And I'll do a narrative in there. If you want to be a Patreon person in the next month or so, I'll do a Patreon and explain to you the good, the bad, and the ugly of Topless Tuesday. And I know a little bit more. I know the guy that puts it on. He's a great guy. He's a hardworking guy. He spends 4 weeks of his vacation putting this thing on, and he doesn't make a freaking dime. And this other moron guy comes from Chicago, and originally it used to be they had to pass the hat, and that's to get money. Yeah, they passed the bucket around, and people put money in that, and they divided that money up, and that's how they gave the money to the girls, which averaged about $3,000. Well, this guy from Chicago came in one time and said, "Hey, how about if I just give you the $3,000 because I'm a pervert and I'm going to pour the water down the girls' shirts?" And the guy said, "Hey, sounds good to me. That way things will move a little quicker." Well, this guy's taking more and more control over this guy that puts it on. So what happened was a few years ago, the guy contacted me and said, hey, you know, the bartender, which is the girl that doesn't like me now, came up and said that she talked to the guy and said, because this guy paid like $400 or $600 for somebody to fly a drone over it. Well, we had shot our drone shot that year, and it was better than what he had, and he got it for free. So because we were putting it in our video, so he got to see it from the video part. So it was like, why don't you come out? So then we did it the first year. The next year, we talked to the guy and said, you know, do you want to make money on this? We'll help you make money. All we want is the video content. We'll get you sponsors, Progressive, Law Tiger, somebody come out there. We'll get somebody else to come up with the money to give away. That way you don't have to have somebody else telling you how to run your show. We were going to get 3 celebrity judges. At that time, we were going to get Harley Mike, and we had 2 other people we were talking to about it, have them come out and be the judges of the contest. And we were going to have the girls do different things. Like the first time they come out, there's 50 girls. The first time they come out, tell you a little bit about themselves, who they are, where they're from, what they do for a living, and then maybe next time come out and say something else. And then they would be voted on that. And we would narrow it down. Like the first one would narrow half the staff down. Next one would single that down, get down to where you're down to the last few girls, which the way they do it now, it's like I said, I don't know how it was this year, but in the past, it's always was, you had no idea. And then 2 years ago, 12 girls never even got voted on. And it was going to get crazy. And how the announcer guy didn't get killed, I don't know.
I thought there was going to be a riot. I was telling him, I was up on stage. I'm like, we're out of here. We're out of here. These people, the natives are getting restless. I don't want to be involved in it.
So it's like, you know, so we were actually going to help the guy. And he goes, well, you need to talk to this Tom guy. That's the guy that gives the money. We need to talk to him about all this. Because he says, well, because I said, well, the only way to stop this is, one, you got everybody holding their phones up. You can't see anything. If you're in the back, you can't see anything. So he said, I said, well, what we do is just tell everybody you can take pictures, but there's no videotaping done. And he's like, okay. Because he was tired of people selling videos and him not making any money. I said, well, then we'll sell it and we can put it on the internet, whatever you want to do, and we'll split the money 50-50. And he's like, okay, yeah, that'll work. Well, then we were supposed to go talk to Tom, and then he called Tom, and Tom told Tom, he goes, I don't want to make this commercialized. I don't want them doing nothing. They're not allowed to film. So he comes up to us and says, I want you to film anyway. Just come up here. You set it up on the table, the picnic table. You shoot it. And if nothing else, I'll pay you for the video. So I'm like, all right. So I'm there from 7 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. 3 camera shoot with it edited. I wanted $2,500. That's what I told him. I ain't got that kind of money. You said you were going to pay me. Can I just have it for free? I'm like, no. So I'm like, screw that. I'll just put it on my Patreon. Well, this Tom guy joined my Patreon, which I knew he did. I don't care. And so he watched it. After he watched all of it, then he finally tells the guy, they already put it on the internet. So then the guy calls me up and says, I want it for free now since you already made money on it. I said, I'd have to even go in there and see how many people actually paid just to see Topless Tuesday versus people. I got people that are paying every month anyway. And we're only putting I just put a bunch of pictures on. I put your old pictures from Sturgis from 20 years ago and on there today. And a video you filming the bison. I put that on there. And I'll have some more this week yet. I'll try to get up for this week yet. But that's kind of how that all ended up. And then that was kind of the end of it. So then last year when we went out there, we got the guy's phone number and called him up and said, hey, dude, is anything changed? And he's like, nope, it's going to be exactly the same way. And I'm like, whatever, then I'm whatever, good luck. And so we came out there and we filmed the beginning, and I had somebody else film the girls. And so we made the video out of that. So then this year I've got like 4 people out there, actually a couple people, FYI, there's already people that filmed it. You allowed to, that I probably will get footage from. So if I want it. So it's not the end of the world, because they made this big thing and they talked about me all the way through it and all this stuff. And I'm glad that they gave me a lot of shout outs. We gained about 200 people that day. I wasn't really wondering why I got 200 people, but nobody ever said anything on my whole channel about anything about them, which people don't realize that if you're going out there to see this stuff, you really don't care what that announcer is saying. That's not what you're there for. Now, there's probably a lot of people that wanted to film that had been out there before that they didn't allow to film because they threatened people that they'd take their equipment. I would have loved to have gone out there and had them take my equipment, because then I would have said, where's their contracts at that you signed with those people? You're discriminating against me. You took my equipment. Well, first of all, the guy took my equipment. That would be the end of that too. I wouldn't have to say any more about that. Anybody knows anything about that? it's fair game then.
I would rather watch the bison.
Yeah. So that was kind of the end of that. And so you now got to know a little bit of story about that, but we'll have some pictures and stuff because they allowed people to take pictures. And actually the pictures from some of the video that I've seen, I already think the pictures may turn out to be better than the
videos.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I won't have that for another month or so before I get all that. So it may be later, but I'm going to re-edit my last 3 years because Highway Vixen actually used to be a competitor. Because a lot of people said that. I want to see her. I want to see her. Well, I'm not going to go looking for her. But I mean, I do have her on video that when she was up there in the contest and all that. So the last 2 years, she hasn't been a contestant anymore that I heard. So I've got footage from 2 years before that of her being a contestant. So I've got her and a bunch of other girls. I don't know if you know any of the girls some of the girls I've sent footage to last year that they wanted to see themselves up there and I sent it to them.
Gonna do a wrap up of your stuff because you got 5 minutes left for 2 hours.
5 minutes. All right. So we talked about today is Ocean City Bike Fest. That's going to be September 13th through the 17th. We're going to be there. What's the biggest highlight is Thursday night. Joan Jett and
Bryan Adams. Billy Idol. I was thinking, I don't know why. I didn't look at the screen. Billy Idol.
And out of those two, who do you want to see?
Billy Idol. I was thinking Bryan Adams. I don't know
why. I have no idea. I mean, wow, I want to see Bryan Adams.
I'd like to see Bryan Adams. Anyway, Billy Idol.
So that's so they got vendors out there. There's a couple different places. The first time we've ever been there, we hear it's a really big vendor rally. I don't know if there's any real riding to do out in Ocean City. They say the boardwalk's pretty neat to see. So we're going to check it all out. We'll give you a rundown of what's going on out there, what's happening, and if we'll ever go back again. A lot of these rallies are good rallies. I'm not going to ever badmouth really a rally. There's rallies like Laconia. We probably will never, ever, ever go back to Laconia again. Nothing wrong with it, but it's a 300-mile rally. It's more people that are local go to it. The two big ones is Daytona and Sturgis. Sturgis is the granddaddy of all rallies. Monkey said it the other day too. For a guy that lives in Florida, there's nothing compares to Sturgis. And so right after that, we're actually going directly from there because actually it ends over on the 17th. So and it doesn't start till that's right. We're there for the whole week. So we get in on Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. It's the dates is the 20th through the 23rd. We will be there from Monday all the way through that week, all the way through Sunday.
17th through the 24th.
Yep. So we'll be there all the way through that. There's a bunch of demo trucks there. There's 2 demo trucks, one out in Eureka Springs, one in Rogers. The Pig Trail Harley has a whole bunch of events going on. Rogers, the town of Rogers has a bunch of events going on down there. They got some concerts. They've got Jackal on the last night. They got a barbecue contest going on Saturday. All kinds of stuff. They got a bunch of stuff going on out at Eureka Springs. There's a great new campground. It's going to be biker campground. That's called Flathead Rally Point. There's going to be a bunch of stuff out there. They've got Jasmine Kane. They've got Saliva. The guy sings Saliva. Texas Hippie Coalition is going to be playing there on Saturday night. That's going to be a rocking good time. We are going to be giving away for Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue either or your choice of a hotel stay during that time or full hookups and passes for Flathead Rally Point. So check all that out. We'll be giving that information out later this week, how you can get in on the entry of that. And then the last thing is there's going to be a bunch of stuff going on at the Cat House, which is in Eureka Springs too. There's also a Harley dealer. There's second stores there. There's a big vendor area there. That's where Mexi Philly, that's where they'll be at. Cat House has all kinds of food, drink, bands. They're supposed to have Jasmine Kane too. They may even have a Bob and Tam special drink for you. My world famous Hurricanes. They may be making special, but you have to ask for the Bob and Tam drink, which we haven't got it all. He was going to do it last year, but we didn't show up. So this year we have to tell him and then get all the concoction there for it. You might say, I don't want a Hurricane. Well, if you want to be a man, you get a 151 shot on the top. After about 2 of them, you'll be saying, I'll take it back with just the Southern Comfort in it.
So
last thing was the ride.
Yep. And then our ride. And we don't really go to British Columbia, Canada. Always want to go up there, but didn't go up there yet. We're not doing Galveston this year.
Nope.
We've been to Cay River several times and helped out Adam.
Not going this year. I think he just announced the dates and all that. One of the reasons I don't go to that is because there's already a ton of YouTubers going. and it's just very crowded. It's a lot of stuff. It's a really small place. I love Adam. He's a great guy. We'll see him there at
Bikes, Blues,
and Barbecue. We'll chat with him again, but we won't
He's probably going to be at the Flathead Rally Point a lot.
Yeah, he'll be at all that. He'll be in Cave Spring or
he'll be at Eureka Springs with
he'll be at the Cat House. He'll be at the Flat House. Fat Head. He'll be at all that.
Yep. North Idaho Slideway Post Falls. We've been to Idaho Falls. Jasmine also comes to our annual festival. She gets around. Big in the biker
community.
Yes, she is. A lot of people like her. A lot of people go see her. So she's really big. Oyster Run up by Vancouver, Canada. Nope, never been up there either.
We'll try to do, depending on this year, how it goes and what the Buffalo Chip decides next week. But if things go the way I'm thinking things are going to go, is this will be our last year. 2024 will be our last big year of hitting the big rallies. After that, we're going to shift back down to probably doing more bikes during the wintertime here for the veterans. We'll start working on those probably next fall, and then maybe some in the spring. And then after that, we'll probably still do Sturgis at least through the 85th. I don't know what we'll do after that. And then from there, we'll probably hit more local stuff. We might want to go back to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. I wouldn't mind doing Lake of the Ozarks again. Some of the ones like that. But I mean, there's some that we've done that we probably won't do. Mexi Philly does Bandera. It just doesn't seem like there's enough going on down there for me to be interested in. There's some good riding down there. It's not too bad to ride up into Texas around San Antonio and
the
stuff.
Hill country, neat. They call it.
Yeah, it's not bad. I've done some of that. And so I don't know. We've, this will probably be our last year for Myrtle Beach, Daytona, Panama City, Leesburg. That's probably going to end this year unless something drastically happens between now and next year.
You're saying Ohio Bike Week?
I don't know. We've heard a lot about Ohio Bike Week is slowly dying. It's kind of getting to be like Gettysburg.
It's like 2 weekend rallies.
Yeah. And so that's the problem there is you're spending a lot of money for a week stay and you're not doing nothing for 5 days. So that's another one that we have to find somebody that's going to comp us or get us in at a reasonable price or something. Because for us, it just doesn't justify by pulling the trailer across the United States, paying for the gas. For us to go to Ocean City, just in gas alone, I would be spending about $2,500 over and back. That's not counting a place to stay. That's why we thought, because we originally had somebody who was going to give us a good deal on a hotel room. And then after I sat down and figured it out, I'm still going to spend about $2,000 by the time we fly out there, pay for a hotel and all that. It's like, I'm not going to make.
Said Ohio Bike Week was really busy this year.
During the middle of the week.
And it's free.
Well, most rallies are free.
But it costs to get there and to stay there.
So there's a lot of things to do. I'd love to do Maggie Valley. Well, if this ride turns out to be a really good content, then we might do a lot of these all around the United States. I'd love to go through Maggie Valley and ride that. Do maybe 5 to 10 different rides out there. And if people want to go along with them, and some of them could be, well, one of them is a 300-mile ride. So
Everyone says, have a ripper. If you're not a vendor, it's free to get in. Most rallies.
Well, the only rallies that really charge you is on the West. You get over here to Arizona Bike Week. Las Vegas is gone. Las Vegas used to charge you to get in there. A lot of the West Coast stuff,
Arizona Bike Week does,
charges you to go in to see the vendors. Pretty much everybody else
doesn't.
Nah, there isn't anybody else. Galveston charges you just to park your bike down there.
But you can park elsewhere.
Yeah, you can park over there by Ciro, and it's free to park. That's where we park at. And because I never paid to get in, we rode the first day or two, it was free, and after that, you're going to go down and sit on Main Street every day. But there's a reason they do all that, and we won't get into that.
Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is September 20th through the 23rd.
Yep, and we'll be there and doing a bunch of stuff. We'll set up some rides if anybody wants to come out and go riding. Like I say, we get there on Monday. We'll be already doing rides on Monday already. And we'll probably do another ride during that weekend somewhere.
What about your Route 66 ride you want to go on?
Yeah, I want to do one of those too. She probably won't go on that one and be gone too long.
If you haven't ridden our Pancake House Trail, it's amazing. Steven says in Myrtle Beach. My dad lives a block from downtown. That's cool. You can stay right there with him in Ohio Bike Week. Oh. She's the one that wants us to come to Ohio Bike Week. Is he going to let us stay with him? I'm sure my dad could find a deal. There you go. Wait, somebody told us
that's in between. But see, that's in between. is it after Myrtle Beach and before Laconia? Somewhere right around there,
Yeah.
because they do.
Because that's what they wanted us. They wanted us. It was Memorial Day weekend. We were in Washington, D.C. They wanted us to go to Ohio Bike Week and then go to Laconia, but that was like 600 miles out of the way. So we had to go 600 miles there and 600 miles back. And
we decided just to go on up to Laconia.
yeah.
We stayed 50 miles there. We had one of our subscribers set us up on his property, which was great. No complaints. It was 50 mile in, 50 mile out, but it was a great 50 miles each way. But it was bad. We just weren't able to do nightlife.
Barracuda, Harley Davidson in Tampa. Yes, we've been there too.
Yep.
Barracuda and Burt's Barracuda and Black Widow down in Port Charlotte.
Yep, been to both of them. Did a video there, the Rednecks.
Yep.
Redneck Bash. That was the last one that guy did. It moved away.
And they red flagged us for that because we called it a Redneck Bash. I guess they thought we were
making fun of people.
Yeah.
Or that because that guy shook his butt.
I don't know what it was.
Don't care.
All right. We went from 120 to 86.
All right. So we'll wrap her up.
So thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We love spending time with you guys. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to email us right here. If you're interested in the ride or any of our anything we got going on, or you just want to say, hey, what's going on? Check us out. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Think about Patreon. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications.
I need to get a bell.
See you. Ding, ding, ding. Didn't somebody have a squeezy chicken that squeaked?
Like a bell?
Yeah, when somebody gave a super chat or something, they'd squeeze that chicken. Remember we used to watch somebody that did that. Anyway, and we'll see you on the next video.
When Sexy Biker Chick's got
Screaming chicken.
Her official mascot. I don't think I showed that video. I didn't use that part because she was telling me about all the specials.
Did you ever do the one with her dog barking?
No, I didn't know her dog was barking.
What?
Hey, all the people.
Lake Erie is beautiful. We've been up to Lake Erie. It's nice up there.
We've been to Canada.
Night.
We went to Niagara Falls. Drove all along the coast there. We probably when we came back on the 90, we probably drove right by where they have Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue.
Bowling Alley Bob. Oh, Bowling Alley Bob's lives right off Lake Erie.
Yeah, 50 miles.
That's right on. It's not that far. Thank you. Take care. Night, guys. How about a duck? Duck, duck, goose. God bless, Stephen says. Done?
That's all, folks.
See you later. Bye.